Good morning, beloved friend. The sky is still dressed in the soft veil of dawn. You can almost feel the breath of heaven in the cool morning air, where silence has not yet been broken by the noise of the day. This is the hour when the world still whispers, when the soul is most sensitive to eternity. The first golden light slowly unfolds across the horizon, gently waking the earth. And here you are awake, perhaps not just by chance. Perhaps your spirit has been stirred because this is a sacred hour, one chosen for something more than just another beginning. It is a time when the heart can hear God more clearly, when the veil between the visible and invisible seems just a little thinner. Maybe this morning you did not wake with peace. Maybe your eyes opened before the sun, not because of rest, but because of worry, or fear, or grief that has refused to let you sleep. Perhaps your pillow is still wet with tears you did not expect to cry. Or perhaps you are simply very tired of fighting battles no one sees, carrying weights no one understands, questioning if anything will ever really change. I want to tell you a story, not one found in a book or sung in a hymn, but the kind that happens quietly in ordinary life. A woman I once knew used to rise every morning before the world began to move. She did not rise because she wanted to, but because her heart was breaking. She had just lost someone she loved deeply, and sleep no longer brought comfort. Every morning at 4 she would sit by the window, holding a cup of tea she never really drank. Her eyes stared blankly into the dark, and her prayers were few, sometimes only a whisper. Are you still there? That is all she could manage. One morning, she heard a bird begin to sing, earlier than usual. It was not much, but it was something, a sound of life. And in that moment, something inside her shifted. Not everything changed that day, but something softened. It was as if God had sent a message not through words, but through the presence of that fragile sound. From that morning on, she began to whisper more questions, more hopes, even a few thank yous. Little by little, she began to heal, not through a miracle moment, but through sacred mornings filled with small, honest prayers. You see, prayer is not always loud. It is not always eloquent. Sometimes it is raw. Sometimes it is just sitting still, breathing in the quiet, letting your heart open again. But every time you choose to speak, to believe, to hope something shifts, every time you pray, you are not just sending words into the air. You are entering a real conversation with a real God who listens, who understands, and who moves. That is why today, in this very moment, you are invited into something deeper. Not just a routine or a habit, but a journey. A journey into the presence of the one who shaped the sunrise and knows your name. This is not about perfect words. This is about an open heart. It is about choosing to show up, to be still, and to speak even if your voice trembles. In the next moments, we will walk together through a long, rich, and sacred prayer. It has been written with reverence and soaked in hope, divided into 24 chapters. Each one holds a new step, a new door, a new light for your path. Whether you feel strong or fragile, certain or unsure, this is your invitation to lay down your burdens, to find shelter in the Almighty, to rediscover the power of divine protection and spiritual breakthrough. You do not have to earn this moment. You only have to show up. You do not have to pretend you are okay. You only need to be real. This is not about religious performance. This is about holy connection. And it begins right here in the quiet, with breath, with trust, with the smallest spark of faith. So, take a deep breath. Dear one, let the weight fall from your shoulders. Let your heart soften. The morning has come. The presence of God is near, and He has been waiting for you to speak. Let us begin. Dear Heavenly Father, I woke up while the world was still asleep. The room is dark, the silence thick, and though my eyes have opened, it feels like my heart has not. I did not rise this early because I felt strong or full of joy. I rose because something inside me is aching. There is a weight I cannot name, and I am tired of carrying it. I do not even know how to begin, but I am here. I am here with my scattered thoughts, my restless heart, and my fragile faith. I do not need big answers right now. I just need to know that you are near. I need to believe that you still see me in this quiet hour, when no one else knows I am awake. Father, it is hard to explain this emptiness. It is not just sadness. It is something deeper. A hollow space inside that longs to be filled, but does not even know with what. I have walked through days pretending to be okay, but deep down, I have felt lost. The smiles I wear hide more than they reveal. The noise of the day distracts me from the noise inside. And now, in this moment, there is nothing to drown it out. Just me. Just you, and this H. I come to you not with perfect words, but with a wary heart. I do not want to hide from you anymore. I am tired of performing, tired of pretending. I just want to sit in your presence, even if I do not have much to say, even if my prayers come out as broken whispers, even if I do not know where to start. Will you meet me here, in this dim morning silence? Will you remind me that I am not alone, not forgotten, not beyond your reach? There have been nights when I cried without sound, mornings when I could not face the light, and afternoons when I wondered if anything would ever get better. I have been disappointed by people I trusted. I have been hurt by silence when I needed comfort. And sometimes, I have even been angry with you, though I did not know how to admit it. Angry because I asked for peace and only felt more pain. Because I tried to hold on to hope, but kept falling into fear. But I do not want to live like that anymore. I do not want to keep hiding my real heart from the one who made it. So I offer it now, every cracked piece, every bitter question, every quiet tear I never showed. I lay it all before you, not because I know what you will do with it, but because I believe you care. I believe that even when I cannot see your hand, you are still holding mine. I believe that even when I feel nothing, you are still working. I believe you are not offended by my weakness. You are moved by it. I do not come to impress you. I come because I need you, more than I need answers, more than I need solutions. I need to know that you are near in the darkness and still good when I do not understand. I need you to whisper into the spaces where I feel most broken. I need you to carry what I can no longer hold. The fear, the shame, the loneliness, the exhaustion from fighting battles no one sees. Father, I do not want to run anymore. I do not want to fill my days with distractions. I want to face this emptiness with you beside me. I want to walk through the pain with your presence guiding every step. I am done pretending that I have it all together. I am done hiding behind strength that is not real. I want to be real with you, because I know you are real, and you are enough. I do not ask for you to fix everything today. I just ask for your presence in the middle of it all. I ask that you meet me right here, right in this raw, unfiltered moment. Not after I am healed, not after I am strong, but now, while I am still broken, while I am still unsure, while I am still reaching for something solid to stand on. If all I can do this morning is reach, then I will reach. If all I can do is whisper, then I will whisper, because I believe you hear even the faintest voice. I believe you see every heart that dares to open, even just a little. I do not want to rush ahead. I want to start here with you, in the shadows, in the silence, in the stillness. I want to learn how to rest, not just in my body, but in my soul. To rest knowing that I am safe even when I feel vulnerable. To rest knowing that I am loved even when I do not feel worthy. To rest knowing that nothing can separate me from your presence, not fear, not failure, not even my doubts. So I breathe. I breathe in the quiet, and I breathe out the fear. I breathe in the promise that you are near. I breathe out the lies that say I am too far gone. I breathe in your mercy that comes new every morning. And I breathe out every shameful thought that tries to convince me otherwise. And I adhere by accident. I believe this morning was appointed, not for answers, but for encounter, not for change alone, but for connection. I do not have to be enough. You are. And that is the beginning of healing. That is the start of my journey back to peace, a journey not built on certainty, but on trust, not built on noise, but on silence, not built on striving, but on surrender. So I surrender, not just the pain, but the pride, the need to prove, the fear of looking weak. I surrender my right to understand, and I choose the better gift to trust. I do not know what you will do with what I have given you today, but I believe you will do something. I believe you are already doing something. Even now, even here, even in the quiet beginning of this sacred hour. Father, now that I have dared to open the door, even slightly, I do not want to close it again. Something in me feels exposed but also lighter. I am still trembling, still uncertain, but this quiet space between us is starting to feel like shelter. I do not know what to call it exactly, but I sense something stirring, like the faintest flicker of light in the deepest part of my soul. I am not healed, not yet strong, but I am here, and that has to mean something. I do not want to waste this sacred moment by holding back what aches most deeply. So I bring it all, even the words I have been too afraid to say out loud. I have spent so much time pretending that I am okay, trying to be the steady one, the strong one, the one who never cracks. But Father, I am tired of carrying that weight. I do not want to just whisper my pain anymore. I want to cry out not because I have lost faith, but because I finally believe you can handle my full heart. My full, messy, trembling, tired heart. So here it is. Here's the fear I have tried to ignore, the wounds I have tried to numb, the regrets I have buried beneath silence. I bring them to you not neatly, but honestly. I lay them down with desperation, not polish. I have tried so hard to control the outcome, to fix things before they broke, to anticipate pain before it found me. But all that effort only made me more anxious, more alone. I see now that control was never the answer. I do not want to hold everything anymore. I want to give it to you. Not carefully, not selectively, but completely. So I lift my hands not as a gesture of surrender alone, but as a cry for help. I need you. Father, I need you in the places where I no longer know how to stand. I need you in the shadows that still feel too heavy for me to walk through. I cry out for healing where I have been deeply wounded by others. I cry out for peace where my thoughts have been spinning without rest. I cry out for comfort in the places that still feel like grief has made its home. I cry out for strength when my body feels fragile and my soul feels brittle. I cry out because I can no longer keep everything pressed beneath the surface. If you are who you say you are, then you are not offended by my outpouring. You are moved by it. You welcome it. So I let the cry rise not just from my lips, but from the deepest part of who I am. And in this cry, I am not just asking for change, I am asking for presence. I need you to draw near in a way that silences fear. I need to know that when I call, you answer. That when I tremble, you steady me. That when I feel forgotten, you are already moving on my behalf. I am not demanding. I am not trying to manipulate. I am just trying to be real. I have seen what pretending produces nothing but isolation. I want something different. I want connection. I want encounter. I want to touch the hem of your robe, like the woman who believed even a moment in your presence could shift everything. Father, this cry is not a performance. It is not rehearsed. It is not pretty, but it is mine. And I give it to you with everything I have left. I am not afraid to be loud in the spirit. I am not afraid to weep where I once stayed silent. I am not afraid to say that I am desperate not just for relief, but for you. Desperate for something that reaches deeper than the surface. Desperate for a breakthrough that goes beyond emotion. Desperate for a shift that realigns my entire being with truth, with hope, with you. I do not want just a moment of comfort. I want transformation. I want you to invade the dark corners I have never let anyone see. I want you to breathe into the places that have felt lifeless. I want you to awaken what pain tried to put to sleep. I cry out for clarity where confusion has clouded my vision. I cry out for justice where things have felt unfair for far too long. I cry out for forgiveness for the things I have done and the things I have carried, for the bitterness I did not mean to nurture, for the silence I chose instead of seeking you. I am not just here to speak. I am here to listen too. So even as I pour out my cry, I ask that you would speak back, not always in words I can hear, but in ways I can feel. In a moment of peace that interrupts panic, in a breath that softens anxiety, in a stillness that wraps around me like a blanket. I do not need every answer now. I just need to know you are listening, that you are not distant, that you have not turned your face away, that you are here, with me, in this very moment, hearing every unspoken word, catching every invisible tear. Let my cry be more than just emotion. Let it be a turning point. Let it be the first step in a new direction. I have cried alone before, but today I cry with purpose. I cry in faith, believing that my voice matters to you, that my honesty is not rejected, but received, that my desperation is not weakness, but the doorway to intimacy. You are not waiting for me to become whole before you listen. You are listening as I fall apart, and that changes everything. So I lean into the cry. I let it echo through this quiet space. I let it rise without shame. I do not edit it. I do not minimize it. I do not silence it, because this cry is holy. This cry is the place where healing begins. This cry is my first real prayer in a long time, that comes from the place that needs you most. And I believe you are near, not in spite of the mess, but because of it. I believe you draw close to the brokenhearted. And I believe that in this very moment, something is shifting. Maybe not outside of me, but certainly within. Father, I have cried out from the deepest part of me. And though my voice trembled, I know you heard. I believe something broke open in the silence, a wall, a fear, a barrier I did not even know was there. And now, standing here in the stillness that follows, I begin to feel the weight of things I have carried for too long. I see the patterns, the invisible chains, the quiet agreements I have made with hopelessness. I did not mean to welcome them. I did not mean to grow comfortable in the places where I was meant to walk free. But somewhere along the way, I stopped fighting. I stopped believing that freedom was possible. Until now. Father, I am tired of being bound. Tired of cycles I can seem to escape. Tired of chains that no one else can see, but I feel every day. Chains of shame that whisper, I will never be more than my worst moment. Chains of fear that choke the joy out of my victories. Chains of disappointment that make me brace for failure, even before I try. I do not want to live like this anymore. I do not want to just cope. I want to be free. Completely. Undeniably. Joyfully free. You never created me to walk in chains. You never meant for me to live bowed under the weight of lies. So today, in this sacred hour, I rise in my spirit and declare that these chains must go, not by my strength, but by your power, not through my effort, but through the name of Jesus that carries all authority in heaven and on earth. I do not need to scream to be heard. I do not need to fight alone. I just need to stand in what you have already done. The cross was enough. The blood was enough. Your victory is already won, and I choose to step into it now, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Father, I renounce every lie I have believed. I tear down every agreement I made with defeat. I cancel every curse that has followed my family, every inherited burden that was never meant to be mine. I break every soul tie that has kept me tethered to pain, fear, addiction, and toxic patterns. I name the chains because they no longer have the right to remain hidden. I expose them to the light of truth. Bitterness, you have to go. Control, you have to go. Insecurity, fear of rejection, obsession with perfection, you all have to go. You are not welcome here. You are not part of my story anymore. I speak directly to the places in me that have been trapped: my thoughts, my emotions, my reactions. I declare that they are coming into alignment with truth. I am not a victim. I am not forgotten. I am not too broken to be restored. I am not beyond redemption. These chains are not stronger than the one who lives in me. These strongholds are not permanent. They are being dismantled right now by the authority of heaven. And Father, I ask you to do what only you can: go into the places I can reach and break what I cannot see. Cut the invisible cords that tie me to regret and self-hate. Reach into the memories that still sting and heal what time alone could not touch. Rewrite the stories I have been telling myself, the ones that say I am not worthy, the ones that say I will always be stuck. Replace them with your voice, your truth, your love. I open my hands, spiritually and physically, as a sign that I release these chains. I no longer hold on to what held me. I let go of the false identities, the inner vows, the limiting beliefs that tried to define me. I choose freedom. I choose to believe that you have more for me, that my past does not dictate my future, that healing is not a myth, that breakthrough is not a fantasy, that I was made to walk in liberty, not survive in bondage. Father, I ask that you surround me now with your presence like fire. Let every chain that tries to linger be consumed. Let every lie lose its grip. Let every familiar darkness be forced to flee. I do not want shadows to follow me anymore. I want to walk in light. I want to live like someone who is no longer bound, even if my steps are still shaky. Because freedom is not a feeling, it is a reality purchased by blood, and I accept that gift with reverence and expectation. Teach me how to live without these chains. Show me what it means to move through the day without being dragged down by invisible weights. Let my heart breathe fully for the first time in a long time. Let my mind rest without fear circling every thought. Let my emotions be stable, no longer bouncing between extremes. I want to know what it feels like to be truly whole. Not perfect, not without challenges, but whole. Anchored, unshaken by lies. And Father, I pray not just for myself. I pray for those who are also bound: friends, family, strangers who silently suffer in the same way. I lift them to you. I speak freedom over them. I ask that what you begin in me would ripple outward, that the healing you bring here would echo into homes, hearts, and histories I cannot see. Let freedom flow like a river. Let deliverance be the testimony that rises from this morning, not just mine, but for many. You are the God who breaks chains in silence and in song. You are the one who meets us in prison and reminds us we were never meant to stay. And I believe you are doing that right now. I believe things are falling off that I could not shake. I believe something deep is shifting not only around me, but within me, and I want to ignore it. I want to downplay it. I want to explain it away. I receive it, even if it feels unfamiliar, even if it scares me a little, because I trust you more than I trust my fear. So I breathe again, and this time, I do not inhale shame. I inhale grace. I do not carry guilt. I carry hope. I do not keep quiet. I declare the truth louder than the lies ever were. I am free, not just in theory, not just for a moment, but in spirit, in soul, in story, because you have broken the chains that cannot stay. Father, even as I stand in the glow of freedom, freshly unshackled from the chains that once defined me, I know this journey is not just about what has been broken off. It is also about what now covers me. I cannot talk about freedom without remembering the price you paid for it. I cannot move forward without acknowledging what made this moment possible. I feel it now, so deeply, like a quiet strength surrounding me, your mercy, your sacrifice, your blood. This morning, I do not just want to be delivered from what held me. I want to be covered, protected, made whole by something eternal. The chains may have fallen, but the wounds they left behind are still fresh. And I know there is only one thing strong enough, pure enough, holy enough to touch those places and not harm them. So I come back to the cross. I come back to the moment where everything changed, not just for history, but for me. The blood of Jesus. That is what I speak over my life right now, not just as an idea or a doctrine, but as my shelter, my identity, my victory. This blood is not distant or abstract. It is close. It flows into the cracks and crevices of my most hidden places. It reaches every corner where shame once whispered. It covers not just what I have done, but what was done to me. It does not just cleanse, it restores, rebuilds, resurrects. I no longer need to carry the burden of being good enough. I simply need to rest in the truth that the blood is enough. Father, I place this covering over every part of me, over my mind, where thoughts still try to echo old lies, over my emotions, where pain sometimes flares unexpectedly, over my body, where tension and fatigue still linger. I speak it over my past, with its regrets and what-ifs. I place it over my present, with all its questions, and I stretch it forward into my future, claiming it as the banner that goes before me into every unknown place. Your blood is not bound by time. It has no expiration. What was done once still stands. What was poured out then still flows now. I see it like a crimson thread running through my story, binding together what was broken, weaving redemption into what once seemed lost. I feel it like warmth on cold skin, a presence that comforts and convicts all at once. It is not distant. It is here, and I no longer have to wonder if I am worthy to receive it. Worthiness was never the point. Love was, and love is what carried that cross. What bore the weight? What stayed when others fled? That same love is here with me now, and I let it hold me. Father, I speak the blood of Jesus over the places that still feel vulnerable. I cover the ground I walk on, the words I speak, the steps I take. I speak it over the doorposts of my home, like ancient ones did in faith. I speak it over my family, those I love, and those who are far from you. I speak it over decisions that weigh heavily and seasons that feel uncertain. I declare that no darkness has permission to linger where the blood has been applied. I do not need to shout to make it powerful. I simply need to believe. Where guilt tries to rise, the blood speaks a better word. Where fear knocks at the edges of my mind, the blood silences it. Where accusation rings loud, the blood answers with truth. This is not a one-time thing. This is the covering I choose daily, not out of obligation, but out of trust. I do not want to live uncovered, exposed to the lies and schemes of the enemy. I want to live wrapped in what you have already provided, a protection that reaches deeper than any wound and higher than any fear. Father, remind me each morning that this is where I begin, not in striving, not in shame, but in surrender to the finished work of Christ. Remind me that I am not who I was. I am not the sum of mistakes or the shadow of old habits. I am blood-bought. I am covered. I am held. Let truth sink beneath the surface of my thoughts and settle deep into my spirit. Let it shape how I see myself, how I speak, how I treat others. Let it rewrite my instincts until grace becomes my first response, not guilt. And when the world tries to define me by labels I no longer wear, let the blood speak louder. When fear tries to claw its way back in, let the blood build a wall it cannot climb. When doubt whispers that I have not changed at all, let the blood declare that I am a new creation, not in part, but in full. I always feel different, but I will choose to walk in what is true, not in what I feel. I will let faith rise above memory. I will let the cross define my identity, not my history. I am not just asking for protection today. Father, I am choosing to abide in it, to dwell in the shelter of the Most High, to rest in the knowledge that what has been covered by your blood cannot be touched by the enemy, that the stains of sin are no longer visible to you, that the record of wrongs has been erased, not because of my apologies, but because of your mercy. I stand in the presence of a holy God, not as one condemned, but as one redeemed, not because I have earned it, but because Jesus paid for it in full. So I walk forward under this covering. I speak from beneath its shelter. I live from a place of security, not fear. I breathe freely, knowing that nothing, absolutely nothing, can separate me from your love. Not my past, not my failures, not even my doubts. I trust in what was done on that hill, with nails and thorns and a love so fierce it broke every curse. I rest in what still flows from that sacrifice, mercy that never runs dry. And as I move through this day, I carry that covering with reverence. with gratitude, and with peace that passes all understanding. Father, as I remain on the covering of the blood that protects and restores, something inside me begins to settle, not in a way that forgets the pain, but in a way that dares to believe healing is possible. The H has not vanished, but it does not feel as heavy. It is as if your presence is beginning to breathe gently on the places that still throb beneath the surface. I have stopped running. I have stopped hiding. And now I bring you not only my story, but also my scars, the ones seen and unseen. Some wounds never got a voice. Some pain I tucked away so long ago that I stopped, realizing it was shaping how I see the world. There are things I never grieved, moments I minimized, words I pretended did not hurt. But Father, you saw it all. Even the things I do not know how to explain. You already understand. You know where the wound began. You know what was said, what was lost, what was broken. And this morning, in the quiet, I bring it all into the light, not to be judged, but to be healed. I do not want to live numbed or guarded anymore. I do not want to cover myself with strength that is not real. I want real healing, even if it takes time, even if it requires tears, even if it means reopening places I closed too tightly. I trust you to hold what I uncover. I trust you to heal what I reveal. I am not asking to forget, I am asking to be free. Free from the sting that still flares when something brushes too close. Free from the echo of words that were never yours. Free from the defense mechanisms that keep even love at a distance. Father, I need your healing in my emotions, where grief has taken root and grown quiet, where joy feels too fragile to hold, where disappointment has dulled my sense of wonder. I ask you to restore what was taken, even if I no longer remember how to ask for it. Show me that I was never meant to carry every weight alone. Teach me that my tears were never wasted. Remind me that healing is not weakness, and restoration is not just for others, it is for me too. I need your healing in my heart, where trust has been broken and hope has been bruised. I have built walls around parts of me that used to be soft. I have guarded against future pain by locking away parts of myself you never asked me to hide. I want to be open again, not reckless, but real. I want to feel without fear. I want to love without always looking over my shoulder. I want to believe that healing is not just about surviving, but about fully living again. I also bring you my physical body. You know every cell, every nerve, every hidden pain I have learned to ignore, whether it is something diagnosed or something unexplained. You know where restoration is needed. You are the one who knit me together, and I believe you still hold the pattern. I ask you to touch what medicine cannot reach. I ask you to realign what has been out of balance, to strengthen what has weakened, to renew what has been worn. I surrender the fear of what I do not understand and trust that nothing in my body is hidden from your sight or beyond your care. And Father, I ask for healing in my memories, those shadowed spaces where past events still hold emotional power, moments I replay with regret or sorrow, scenes that come back in dreams or in the quiet, unexpected moments of stillness. I give them to you now, not to erase them, but to redeem them, to take what the enemy meant for harm and use it for something good, to silence the accusations tied to those memories and replace them with your voice, your truth, your peace. Sometimes healing does not come the way I expect. Sometimes it is not instant or dramatic. Sometimes it is slow and quiet, like dew forming on dry ground. Help me not to despise the slow work of healing. Help me to see progress even when it feels small. Help me to notice the subtle shifts, the deeper breath, the lighter step, the moment I smiled without forcing it. These are miracles too, and I do not want to overlook them. I know you are not just a God who heals bodies. You heal identities. You heal perspectives. You heal the way we relate to ourselves and others. So I ask you now to heal the image I carry of myself, where I have believed I am not enough, where I have internalized failure as identity, where I have accepted limitations that were never from you. Rewrite how I see myself. Let me view myself through the eyes of mercy, not shame, through the eyes of purpose, not pain. And as you heal me, let that healing spill over into my relationships. Let me forgive where I have been holding on. Let me release what I have been replaying. Let me be an instrument of healing to those around me, not by having the right words, but by carrying the right spirit. Make me safe for others. Make me soft without being broken. Let your gentleness flow through me, so that others can encounter your presence just by being near. Father, I thank you that you are patient. You are not rushing my healing. You are not demanding that I get over things faster than I can. You sit with me in the pain. You walk with me through the memories. You whisper truth to the places where lies once shouted. I am not a project to you. I am not a list of symptoms to fix. I am a beloved child, and you are the healer who loves me through every step of becoming whole again. So I will return to this place, not out of desperation, but out of trust, not to beg, but to receive. I will let your spirit move at the pace that brings real change. I will allow the process to unfold without shame, because healing is holy, and you are here in every part of it, in every moment of release, in every wave of emotion, in every breath where peace begins to settle again. Let my life be a testimony, not of what I endured, but of how you restored me. Let the healing I receive now become the hope I offer later. Let the wounds that once defined me become the places where your glory shines through. I believe you are healing even now, in ways I cannot yet see. I trust the process because I trust the one who leads it. And I rest knowing that no part of me is beyond your reach. Father, after letting you gently touch the places in me that still needed healing, I now sense another place where the battle is still active, my mind. It is like a restless field, sometimes peaceful, sometimes storming, often invaded without warning. I want to rest fully in the healing you have begun, but the thoughts keep circling. The doubts, the old narratives, the silent accusations that rise when no one's watching. I need you here, Father, in this unseen battleground where everything begins. I know you have promised me peace, but I confess I have often let other voices sit in the seat of influence. Thoughts I never invited have made themselves at home. Lies have disguised themselves as logic. Memories have disguised themselves as warnings. Anxiety has dressed up as caution, and all of it whispers in my head like it belongs there. I do not want to agree with those voices anymore. I want to guard this place, the gate of my thoughts, so only truth can enter and remain. Father, I surrender the internal noise to you, the conversations I replay 1,000 times, trying to rewrite what was said or how I responded, the worries I build into full scenarios before anything has even happened, the critical inner dialogue that always seems to speak louder than kindness. I give it all to you now, not because I have the strength to silence it, but because I believe you can give me the strength to filter it. I believe you can renew this mind that so often forgets it belongs to you. Help me recognize the source of every thought. Show me what is planted by you and what is thrown like seeds by the enemy. I do not want to water lies anymore. I do not want to give space to ideas that shrink my faith or steal my joy. I want to cultivate a garden of peace and truth in my inner world. Let the roots go deep. Let the fruit be real. Let the thoughts that rise be aligned with who you are and who you say I am. When my thoughts spiral into fear, slow them down. When they speed toward hopelessness, stop them in their tracks. When they loop on things I cannot change, gently turn them toward what I can trust. I ask for discernment, not just to hear what is in my mind, but to challenge it. Let me not accept every thought as truth. Let me test each one by your word, by your spirit, by the peace that follows what is truly from you. Father, I know the mind can be renewed, but it is not automatic. It takes intention. It takes surrender. It takes consistency. I ask you to help me in that process. I do not want to wake up already weighed down by thoughts I never chose. I want to begin each day with truth already rooted, already blooming. Replace racing thoughts with steady ones. Replace confusion with clarity. Replace noise with stillness. Replace assumptions with understanding. I pray now over specific areas of my mind that feel vulnerable, over the fear of failure that creeps in when I dare to hope, over the insecurity that questions whether I am truly loved or just tolerated, over the comparison that steals joy by whispering, "The others are ahead and I am behind." I lay these thought patterns before you, not just once, but again and again, until they are no longer patterns, but distant memories of a mind that used to be at war. I also ask you to help me recognize the quiet invasions, the subtle lies that dress themselves in rational thought, the ones that tell me to stay small, the ones that justify worry, the ones that call my caution wisdom when it is really just fear. Help me identify the tone of truth. Teach me to listen for your voice among the crowd. Let your truth be the anchor that holds me steady when my mind starts to drift into places it was never meant to go. Father, I do not just want protection from harmful thoughts. I want to be filled with good ones. Thoughts of gratitude when I am tempted to complain. Thoughts of hope when I face the unknown. Thoughts of compassion when I want to criticize. Thoughts of forgiveness when resentment knocks at the door. Thoughts of courage when I feel small. Thoughts of love, not only for others, but also for the one you created me to be. Let your word dwell richly in me, not just in memory but in response. Let it rise when anxiety does. Let it speak when lies approach. Let it interrupt the negative cycles that try to repeat themselves. I want my first thought to be grounded, not reactive. I want my inner dialogue to reflect your promises, not my past. I want to think like someone who knows they are loved, covered, chosen, and seen. And Father, I ask for rest in my thoughts. Even when the day is loud, even when responsibilities press in, I ask for a quiet center, a stillness that cannot be disturbed by what happens around me. Let my peace not be circumstantial, but rooted in the truth that you are sovereign, present, and unshaken. Let my thoughts dwell on what is noble, what is pure, what is praiseworthy. Teach me to redirect gently but firmly when my mind wanders toward worry. I want to be someone whose mind is not just stable but sacred, not just functional, but free, not just occupied, but aligned with heaven. Let my imagination be creative but not fearful. Let my memory recall your faithfulness more than my failures. Let my perspective widen beyond my problems and focus again on your presence. And when the battle feels too heavy in my mind, remind me that I do not fight alone. You are my refuge. You are the lifter of my head. You are the voice that speaks above the noise. So I turn down the volume of the world now. I silence the voices that do not carry your spirit. I lean in to hear your whisper, the one that says, I am safe, I am whole, I am held. I let that voice be the loudest one today, the one that brings clarity, calm, and truth. Father, as I quiet my mind and allow your truth to take root in the soil of my thoughts, I become aware again of this vessel you have given me, my body. This frame that carries me through the world, that bears the wear of my emotions, that often holds pain I try to ignore. I feel the tiredness in my shoulders, the weight in my chest, the places where stress lingers like a silent echo. I have learned to push through. I have learned to function in discomfort. But today, I do not want to just survive in this body. I want to invite your healing into every part of it. Father, you formed me with intention. Every fiber, every system, every breath. You wove me together in secret, and nothing about me was accidental. So I come to you now, not just in spirit and soul, but in flesh and bone. I offer my body as it is tired or aching, strong or struggling, because I believe you care not only about my inner world, but also about this outer frame I live in. I believe you are the same healer who touched the blind, lifted the paralyzed, calmed seizures, and raised the dead, and I believe you still move with compassion. I speak now to every part of me that needs your touch. Every cell, every muscle, every organ. I ask you to restore what has been damaged, to strengthen what has grown weak, to renew what has been worn down over time. If there is inflammation, let it subside. If there is imbalance, let it be corrected. If there is disease, let it be dismantled at its root. I pray for your divine order to return to my body. Where things have felt out of alignment, bring them back into harmony with how you designed me to function. Father, I lift to you the chronic pain that wears down my joy, the fatigue that makes simple tasks feel heavy, the mystery symptoms that have no name but still shape my days. I invite you into every diagnosis, every condition, every unknown, not just to remove them, but to redeem them, to use even this place of discomfort as a doorway for deeper intimacy with you. If you choose to heal instantly, I will rejoice. If you choose to walk with me through a slower process, I will trust. Either way, I will not walk alone. I speak healing over my immune system, that it may function with balance and wisdom. I speak life into my heart and lungs, that they may beat and breathe in perfect rhythm. I ask for clarity in my brain, ease in my joints, calm in my nervous system. I place my endocrine system in your hands, my digestion, my hormones, my blood. Every part of me matters to you, and nothing escapes your notice. So I bring it all now, without shame, without fear, and I lay it in the hands of the one who made it all. Father, I also bring to you the things I have done to harm my body, intentionally or unknowingly, the times I ignored rest, chose chaos, neglected nourishment, or let stress have the final word. Forgive me for the times I treated my body like an enemy instead of a temple. Teach me again how to honor this body with gentleness, with patience, with gratitude. Help me listen when it speaks. Help me nourish it well. Help me carry it with grace, not criticism. And for the times others have wounded this body through words, through actions, through neglect, I ask for deep, cellular healing. I ask you to release trauma stored in muscles, tension held in memory, fear buried in posture. Let your peace flow like water into places I did not even know were aching. Let your spirit breathe into the breath I take, reminding my nervous system that I am safe, I am held, I am home in you. I speak peace over my sleep. Thy body may rest fully and rise refreshed. I ask for energy that flows from within, not just from caffeine or adrenaline. I ask for strength that lasts beyond the morning hours. I ask for rhythms of rest and work that reflect the sacred balance you created from the beginning. You did not design me to burn out, to break down, or to live in constant survival mode. You made me to flourish, to move with purpose, to reflect your glory in every cell and motion. Father, let my body become a place of praise, not of punishment. Let movement be joy, not obligation. Let stillness be restoration, not shame. Let me celebrate what this body can do, even as I wait for the places that still need healing. Let me speak life over it, not frustration. Let me bless it, not curse it. This body is not my enemy. It is the place where you dwell, and I want to honor that truth. I also lift to you those around me who are suffering in their bodies right now. Friends, family, strangers I have never met, those in hospitals, those waiting for test results, those managing chronic conditions. I speak your healing over them. I ask for miracles, for breakthroughs, for peace that settles even before the diagnosis changes. I ask that your presence would fill hospital rooms, doctors' offices, and quiet bedrooms where pain tries to isolate. Let your spirit be the balm. Let your love be the medicine. Teach me to pray for healing without fear, to believe in miracles without needing a timeline, to trust in your goodness regardless of what changes today. Let my prayers be bold, not because I demand, but because I know who I am speaking to. You are the God who created, who restores, who breathes life into dry places. And you know this body better than any physician ever could. So I breathe deeply now, not with panic, not with resistance, but with surrender. Each breath is a reminder that I am still here, that healing is still unfolding, that this moment is held by you. I inhale trust. I exhale fear. I inhale strength. I exhale tension. I inhale grace. I exhale striving. And with every breath, I come closer to wholeness, not because I have all the answers, but because I am learning to live inside your healing presence. Father, as I breathe in the stillness and feel your healing presence settle deeper into my body, I become aware of another ache, not in my bones or muscles, but in the space where fear of not having enough tries to take root. It is subtle, but it lingers. That quiet worry about tomorrow, that tightening in my chest when I think about finances, responsibilities, and needs I cannot meet on my own. And so now, Father, I bring you this to the place where provision feels uncertain and trust must stretch wider than comfort. You have never failed me, even when I doubted, even in seasons where doors stayed shut longer than I wanted, where answers came slower than I hoped. You were still providing. Sometimes it did not look like what I asked for, but it was what I needed. You sustained me through things I did not even realize would have broken me without your care. And today, I choose again to believe that you are my source, not my paycheck, not my plans, not my strength. You alone are my provider, and you lack nothing. I bring to you my needs not as demands, but as offerings. I open my hands to release my grip on control, on pressure, on self-reliance. I admit the weight I carry trying to make things happen in my own timing and ability. I bring the bills I do not know how to cover, the goals I have not yet reached, the dreams I can't afford to pursue. I offer them not in desperation, but in surrender. Because if you could feed a multitude with a few loaves and fish, then surely you can multiply what I place in your hands. Father, I confess the fear I have had around lack, the way I have allowed scarcity to whisper limits over my thinking, the way I have held back generosity out of worry, the way I have compared my journey to others who seem to have more, forgetting that you measure not by numbers but by faith. I want to walk in the truth that there is always enough in your kingdom. Enough grace, enough favor, enough provision for what you have called me to do. I reject the lie that I am always behind, that I will never catch up, that I will be left out or forgotten. You promised that I would not lack any good thing, and today I hold you to that, not out of entitlement, but out of belief, not because I demand blessing, but because I trust in the goodness of the giver. Let my heart be content, Even while I wait, let my spirit be at peace. Even when I do not yet see how it will all come together, teach me to live with open hands and expectant eyes, knowing that provision often shows up in ways I did not imagine. Father, I ask for wisdom in the way I manage what I have already received. Help me be a good steward not only of money, but of time, energy, and opportunity. Let me not waste what you have entrusted to me. Let me be faithful in the small things, generous even when it stretches me, thankful even when it is not yet enough. Show me where to sow, where to save, where to give, and where to rest. Let my decisions reflect trust, not anxiety. Let my actions be rooted in grace, not greed. I speak over my finances now not from fear, but from faith. I speak blessing over the work of my hands, the ideas you have given me, the doors you are preparing to open. I release the mindset that says, it is never enough. And I receive the truth that you are more than enough. I declare that lack is not my portion. Worry is not my inheritance. Striving is not my identity. I am a child of the King, and I will live like one trusting, resting, sowing, and receiving in due season. Father, for every place in my life that feels like a desert, I ask for your provision to fall like rain. Let manna appear where I least expect it. Let water flow from the rocks I thought were dry. Let divine connections come without force. Let resources align with vision. Let unexpected favor follow me. Not because I chase it, but because I walk with you. I do not need lavish things. I need enough for my purpose. Enough to bless others. Enough to walk free of fear. Provide for my home, that it may be a refuge of peace. Provide for my family, that they may see your hand and know your heart. Provide for my dreams, that they may unfold in your timing and bring you glory. Provide for my needs, but also shape my wants. Let me not chase after things that distract me from what truly matters. Let my desires align with heaven, so that what I ask for reflects who I am becoming in you. And Father, if you choose to provide in ways I do not expect, through people I did not plan for, through opportunities I had not considered, give me the humility to receive without resistance. Give me eyes to recognize the miracles hidden in the ordinary. Don't let me miss your provision just because it does not look the way I thought it would. Teach me to see the daily bread you place before me, and to give thanks before I even taste it. Let provision not become an idol, but a testimony. Let every need be a reminder of your faithfulness. Let every season of lack draw me deeper into dependence, not despair. Let every blessing remind me that it is not just about me, it is about what you want to do through me. If you bless me with more, may I never hold it too tightly. If you lead me through less, may I never believe you love me less. I trust you in the feast and in the famine, in the overflow and in the just enough. Because provision is not just what you give, it is who you are. You are the one who sees, who knows, who acts on behalf of your children. And even when the budget is tight or the numbers do not add up, your resources are unlimited. Your timing is perfect, and your promises are sure. So I rest now not in what I have or do not have, but in who I belong to. I breathe in assurance, I exhale fear. I let go of pressure, of deadlines, of the noise that says I should be further along. I receive peace. I receive hope. I receive daily bread. And I trust that even in this wilderness, you will not let me go hungry. You will lead me, feed me, clothe me, and carry me just like you always have. Father, as I breathe in the peace of knowing you are my provider, something within me begins to look ahead, not with panic, but with wonder, not with dread, but with a quiet question: where are you leading me next? The pressure to have it all figured out fades as I remember you do not ask me to see the whole path. You only ask me to trust the next step. And yet, even in trust, I long to walk in rhythm with you. I want to go where you are going. I want to follow without resistance. I want to move forward, but not without your voice guiding me. There are so many decisions to make, both big and small. Some seem insignificant. Others feel like they carry the weight of destiny. Whether it is a crossroads I am approaching or a subtle shift in direction, I do not want to move by impulse or fear. I want to walk in wisdom. I want my choices to be rooted in faith, not driven by anxiety. So I come to you now, Father, not only to ask for provision, but for direction. I place the path ahead in your hands. You know every detail. You see what I cannot. You know the dangers I am not aware of, the delays I have not anticipated, the doors I have not even discovered. And because you see it all, I choose to surrender my need to control the outcome. I surrender the urge to predict, manipulate, or plan my way into security. You are my security. Your presence is my compass. Your peace is my confirmation. So lead me, even when I am unsure, even when the road ahead feels foggy and the signs are few. Father, I pray over my plans, the ones I have made carefully and the ones that live quietly in my heart. The goals I have written down, the dreams I barely speak aloud, I lay them at your feet, not as conditions for my joy, but as offerings of surrender. If you breathe on them and say go, I will go. If you hold me back and say wait, I will wait. If you close a door I wanted open, I will trust that it was mercy, not rejection. I give you permission to redirect me. Not because you need it, but because I need to remember this is not my story alone, it is ours. I ask for clarity in confusion when multiple paths look right. Help me discern not just what is good, but what is best. Let peace, not pressure, be my guide. Let confirmation come through quiet conviction, not noise or emotion. Teach me to recognize the still, small voice of your spirit in the middle of my racing thoughts. Train my heart to listen before I move, to pause before I assume, to pray before I decide. And when the way ahead is clear, give me courage. Sometimes I hesitate not because I lack direction, but because I fear what obedience will cost. But I would rather walk into the unknown with you than stay in comfort without you. Give me faith to take steps that feel bigger than me. Give me boldness to say yes when it would be easier to retreat. Remind me that I do not have to feel ready to be available. I only have to be willing, and you will supply what I lack along the way. Father, I also lift the parts of my journey that feel delayed, the doors that have not opened, the prayers that feel unanswered, the promises I am still waiting to see fulfilled. It is easy to believe that delay means denial, but I know your timing is not my own. So I ask for trust in the waiting, for strength to keep walking even when the pace feels slow, for hope that refuses to wither when the path feels long. Teach me that waiting is not wasted when I wait with you. There are moments when the uncertainty feels louder than your voice, when the pressure to decide feels heavier than your peace. In those moments, remind me to come back here to stillness, to prayer, to this conversation with you. Let me be led by intimacy, not urgency. Let me value connection with you more than direction from you. Because if I walk with you, I will arrive exactly where I need to be, even if I do not know the address ahead of time. I pray for discernment in the relationships connected to my path. Show me who is meant to walk with me, who is meant to teach me, and who I am called to bless along the way. Help me release the need for approval from those who do not understand my calling. Help me bless those who leave without resentment. Help me recognize the divine connections that point me closer to you. Surround me with voices that reflect your heart, not just my preferences. I ask you to protect me from detours that look desirable but lead to dead ends. Shield me from distractions that steal time and energy without bearing fruit. Close every counterfeit opportunity dressed in urgency. Open the doors that align with your character, your timing, and your purpose. And when you open them, help me walk through without hesitation or apology. Father, I also pray for the unexpected moments ahead, the surprises I did not plan for, the changes I did not foresee. Prepare my heart now for what I do not yet know I will need. Anchor me so deeply in you that no twist in the road can shake my faith. Let me be flexible without being fragile. Let me bend without breaking. Let me adapt without losing my identity. I want to be so rooted in you that no matter where the path curves, I remain steady, hopeful, and whole. And when I feel lost, remind me that you are never far. When I can see the next step, remind me that your word is a lamp for my feet, not a floodlight for my future. You give just enough light for today, just enough strength for now, just enough grace for this hour. And that is enough. Let me not outrun grace trying to force what is not yet mine. Let me stay in rhythm with the pace you have set for me, not slower out of fear, not faster out of pressure. Just steady, just faithful. So I walk forward, even if it is only one small step at a time. I walk with a heart surrendered and a spirit that listens. I walk knowing that every detour you allow has purpose, every delay has design, and every step taken with you is never wasted. I do not need to know every detail. I just need to know that you are going with me, and in that, I find confidence not only for the path ahead, but for every moment between now and the promise fulfilled. Father, as I step forward on the path you have set before me, I am reminded that I do not walk it alone. Every journey intersects with others. Every season brings people, some who lift me, some who stretch me, some who hurt me, and some who stay. And while I trust you to guide my steps, I also need your wisdom to guide my relationships. Because even as I walk forward, Old wounds tug at my heart, and unspoken tensions linger in the background of my thoughts. I do not want to carry those into the next chapter. I want to walk freely not just from fear or lack, but from bitterness, resentment, and the pain that hides behind my silence. Father, you know the history behind every name that crosses my mind. You know the words I never said, and the ones I wish I could take back. You see the disappointment I have buried beneath politeness, the forgiveness I have spoken with my lips, but still struggle to release in my heart. I am tired of holding on to invisible weights that cloud my joy. I am tired of rehearsing past offenses and replaying conversations that one change. So today, I ask you to do what only you can: wash my relationships in grace. I do not want to carry unforgiveness into a future you have designed for healing. I do not want to build walls to protect what you have called me to open. I do not want to live guarded when you have called me to love freely, but I also do not want to live naively. So I ask for discernment to know who is safe, who is seasonal, and who is sacred. Show me who I need to release with peace, and who I need to embrace with courage. Help me let go of connections that no longer align with where you are leading me, not in bitterness, but in trust. Father, I lift to you the people I have struggled to forgive, the ones who hurt me, misunderstood me, or left without explanation. I name them before you, not to accuse, but to surrender. I forgive them not because what happened was okay, but because I do not want it to own me anymore. I do not want the memory of their actions to shape the way I see myself or others. I release them from the debt I have been silently holding, and as I do, I ask you to release me from the grip of what they left behind. I also ask for forgiveness for the ways I have hurt others, the times I spoke in anger or acted in pride, the moments I failed to show up, to listen, to care. Bring to mind the names I need to reach out to, the hearts I need to acknowledge, the wounds I may have caused unknowingly. I do not want to move forward with unresolved harm trailing behind me. I want to make things right where I can, and let you redeem what I cannot fix alone. And Father, I pray for my closest relationships, the ones that shape my daily life. I ask you to cover them with patience, with understanding, with truth spoken in love. Strengthen my friendships so they reflect your heart. Heal the fractures in my family that have gone too long without attention. Let my conversations be seasoned with grace, my tone softened by compassion, and my presence be a safe place for honesty and healing. Where tension has grown between me and someone I care about, show me how to bridge the gap. If I need to listen, give me humility. If I need to speak, give me clarity. If I need to let go, give me peace. I surrender my pride and invite your spirit into every moment of misunderstanding. Teach me how to pursue peace without compromising truth. Teach me how to hold boundaries without building walls you never asked for. Let my posture be one of love, even when it requires sacrifice. Father, I also bring to you the longing I carry for connection, for friendships that run deep, for companionship that feels mutual and life-giving. You know the moments I have felt alone in a room full of people. You know the ache of not being fully seen. even by those closest to me, and I trust that you are not blind to that need. So I ask you to align me with people who carry your presence, people who speak life, who sharpen my spirit, who walk in honor. I do not need many, just a few who walk with you and walk with integrity. I pray over the future relationships you are preparing, whether in friendship, mentorship, partnership, or something I can yet name. Help me not to force connections or cling out of fear. Help me not to rush into something just to fill a void. Teach me to trust your timing in who enters my life and who exits. Let every new connection be filtered through your wisdom. Let every old one be held with gratitude, even if it is time to let go. And Father, I pray for unity in the body of Christ. Let my heart not be divided by offense or preference. Let me be someone who sows peace, not drama, who builds bridges, not camps, who honors even those who see differently, speak differently, believe differently when they are still covered by your blood. Teach me to disagree with kindness, to correct with love, to forgive without condition. Let my relationships be marked by your Spirit. Let them reflect the fruit of gentleness, self-control, and mercy. Let me not seek to be right more than I seek to be loving. Let my presence be a place where others feel safe to be real, where burdens are shared, where grace flows freely, and where truth is not weaponized but welcomed. So I open my heart again, Father, not to everyone, but to those you have appointed for this season. I ask you to cleanse the spaces where offense tried to take root. I ask you to soften the places where I have grown distant or detached. I ask you to protect the tender parts of me that long for closeness but fear being hurt again. Remind me that love is never wasted. Remind me that forgiveness is not weakness. Remind me that grace is not earned, it is given, over and over, because that is what you have done for me. And in this holy space of surrender, I trust that you are weaving something sacred from every relationship, every goodbye, every beginning, and every reconciliation still waiting to happen. I may not always understand what you are doing in the realm of connection, but I trust the one who authored community and created love itself. And I know you are not finished writing the story between hearts. Father, as I open my heart to the people you have placed in my life and choose to walk in grace toward others, I also realize that love itself is a kind of battleground. It is not always easy to forgive, to release, or to stand firm in peace when the enemy seeks to stir offense, confusion, or division. I sense that I cannot live this life of faith without being clothed for the battles that come, battles in my thoughts, in my emotions, in my relationships, and even in the spiritual atmosphere around me. So now, Father, I come to you not just for comfort, but for strength. I ask you to equip me for the fight that I do not always see, but that I surely feel. I do not want to move forward unprepared. I do not want to walk blindly into the day thinking I can overcome in my own strength. I know better now. I know how real the resistance is. I know how subtle the lies are. I know how persistent the attacks can be, especially after choosing forgiveness. after choosing trust, after choosing to follow where you lead. The enemy does not sleep, but neither do you. And I believe you have given me every spiritual weapon I need not to survive, but to stand. So, Father, today I ask you to dress me, not with what the world sees, but with what heaven provides. Begin with the belt of truth, wrap it firmly around me, securing my identity in who you say I am. Let everything I do be anchored in truth, not assumption, not fear, not half-belief. Let truth hold me together when lies try to unravel my confidence. Let truth speak louder than the voices that call me inadequate or unworthy. Let it be the first thing I put on, the thing that holds all other pieces in place. Next, place on me the breastplate of righteousness, not my own righteousness, but yours, the covering that shields my heart from shame, from guilt, from every flaming arrow meant to pierce the core of who I am. Remind me that I am made right through Christ, not through performance. Let this breastplate protect the tenderness in me, the vulnerability that rises when I dare to walk boldly. Guard my heart from being hardened by criticism, bitterness, or fear. Keep it soft and guard it all at once. Father, prepare my feet with the shoes of peace, not the kind of peace that avoids conflict, but the kind that walks confidently into chaos with calm. Let every step I take today be steady, rooted, and purposeful. Let me be a carrier of peace, not a reactor to pressure. Help me bring peace into rooms filled with tension. Help me walk into unfamiliar places without anxiety clinging to my ankles. Let peace not be a feeling, but a foundation. I raise now the shield of faith. Let it cover not just me, but those around me. Let it extinguish every dart of doubt, every whisper of discouragement, every attack of fear. Let it be strong even when I feel weak. Help me hold it high, not as a wall to hide behind, but as a bold declaration that I believe in who you are and what you have promised. I believe that you go before me, that you are with me, that nothing formed against me will prosper. Let this shield be my defense when the day feels heavy or the battles feel personal. Place on me the helmet of salvation. Father, the covering for my mind that reminds me I belong to you, that I am saved, rescued, claimed, and kept. Let this helmet guard my thoughts, shape my perspective, and protect my focus when anxiety comes. Let salvation speak louder. When comparison whispers, let the helmet hold truth in place. Let it quiet the noise and steady my vision. Let me see today through the lens of being redeemed. And finally, place in my hands the sword of the Spirit, your word, alive and sharp. Let me not only carry it, but know how to use it. Teach me to speak it out loud when lies press in. Teach me to declare it when fear tries to grow. Help me remember Scripture not as words on a page, but as a weapon in my mouth. Let me battle darkness with light. Let me fight passivity with proclamation. Let me answer every lie with the power of what you have already said. Father, clothe me in this armor not just once, but daily. Teach me to rise each morning with intention, to not step into the day spiritually unguarded, to remember that even when nothing feels visibly wrong, The invisible war still rages, and I am not helpless in it. I am not fragile. I am not exposed. I am armed. I am protected. I am empowered. Let this armor not make me hard, but make me holy. Let it not turn me into someone distant or defensive, but into someone bold and grounded. Let it not feed pride, but deepen humility. Help me remember that the armor is yours, not mine. That victory comes from abiding, not striving. That my strength lies in surrendering to your strategy, not forcing my own. And Father, as I walk dressed in this spiritual armor, I pray for the awareness to recognize the battle when it comes. Let me not be caught off guard. Let me not mistake a spiritual attack for mere coincidence. Let me see clearly when discouragement is not random, but targeted. Let me discern when heaviness is more than just a mood, it is warfare. And in those moments, let me not shrink back. Let me rise up. Let me declare truth. Pray boldly and stand firm without apology. I ask that you surround me with heavenly backup angels assigned to guard, to fight, to minister. I may not see them, but I trust they are near. I may not hear them, but I know they respond when your name is lifted. Let their presence remind me that I am never alone in this battle, that I am not left to figure it out on my own, that heaven is not distant, it is involved. So here I am, Father, dressed and ready, not because I feel fearless, but because I choose to stand. I choose to believe that I have been given everything I need for life and godliness, that I am equipped for the battle, covered in your armor, strengthened by your spirit, and anchored in your truth. I step forward now, not just into the day, but into victory already promised, knowing that no matter what comes, I do not stand alone. Father, now that I am clothed in your armor and grounded in truth, I realize that one of the most powerful weapons I carry is not in my hand, but in my mouth. My words, spoken aloud or whispered in passing, carry weight. They can pierce or heal, curse or bless, destroy or build. And though I am dressed for battle, I do not want my own tongue to become a weapon that works against what you are building in me and through me. So today, Father, I bring you my words. Every phrase, every reply, every sentence I will speak or type or think. I surrender the space between my lips to you. You know how quickly my tongue reacts, how easily sarcasm slips out when I am hurt, how fast I defend when I feel misunderstood, how often I speak carelessly, not with malice, but with disregard, words said in haste, in stress, in emotion they leave traces behind. And even if I forget them, others might carry them far longer than I meant them to. I do not want to speak from impulse anymore. I want to speak from a heart shaped by grace. I want my voice to echo the voice of heaven. Father, sanctify my speech. Let my mouth become a wellspring of encouragement, not criticism. Let my words lift others, not weigh them down. Let me speak slowly, kindly, and thoughtfully even when I feel pressure rising inside. Let my tone reflect compassion. Let my silence be wise when needed, and my speech be purposeful when called for. I do not want to speak just to fill space. I want to speak because something in me is aligned with you. Teach me to recognize when my words are stirring up tension rather than planting peace. Convict me in the moment, not after the damage is done. Let me pause long enough to ask, does this build or break? Does this bless or bruise? Give me eyes to see not just the content of what I say, but the spirit in which I say it. Help me choose words that bring clarity, not confusion, hope, not heaviness, light, not layers of shame. And Father, I pray not only for my public words, but my private ones too, the ones I speak over myself in secret, the internal monologues that either uplift or undo what you are trying to establish in me. Let the voice inside my head reflect the truth of who you say I am. Silence the loops of self-criticism and replace them with declarations rooted in grace. Teach me to bless my own soul with words of life, not flattery, but faith, not denial, but dignity. I also bring to you the words I have spoken in regret, the phrases I wish I could pull back, the harshness I did not mean, the sharp comments spoken in anger. Father, redeem those moments. Heal what I have wounded. Bring restoration where my words built walls. Give me courage to apologize where needed, and humility to accept correction when I have spoken wrongly. Let my voice be one that repairs, not one that tears down and walks away. And for the moments ahead, those still unseen, I ask that you guard my mouth before I even open it. Let your spirit sit at the gate of my speech like a watchman. Let my words be seasoned with kindness, even when truth is needed. Let them be laced with grace, even when I must speak hard things. Let me be someone others trust to speak with honesty, not cruelty. Let me be quick to bless, slow to accuse, always anchored in love. Father, I also ask for help in how I speak about others when they are not in the room. It is easy to justify gossip as concern, to mask judgment as opinion, to share what is not mine to tell. I do not want to participate in conversations that diminish others behind their backs. And convict me when I cross the line. Remind me that integrity is not just about being honest to someone's face, but honoring them in their absence. Let me speak about others the way I would if they were standing beside me. Let my words carry the fragrance of Christ. Let my language reflect the kingdom, not the culture of offense and division. Let the way I speak distinguish me, not to make me seem better, but to point toward the one who transformed my heart. Make me mindful that my words plant seeds, and that what I speak can grow into something real in the hearts of others. I want to plant gardens, not weeds. I want to speak harvest, not drought. Father, show me how to speak when someone is hurting. Help me listen before I offer advice. Help me sit with someone's pain before I try to fix it. Let my words be healing, not hasty. Let me weep with those who weep, and speak softly to those who are fragile. Let my tongue not be quick to offer answers where empathy is needed more. Teach me to speak the truth in love, not bluntly, but beautifully, with care and wisdom. And Father, when I do speak truth, help me not to shrink back in fear of rejection. Let me be bold when you ask me to be. Let me declare what is right even when it is unpopular. But let my boldness never sound like arrogance. Let my conviction never lose compassion. I do not want to use truth like a hammer. I want to use it like a light, strong, steady, and full of warmth. Let my words be prayers that carry your breath into the atmosphere. Let them shift things in the spirit before they even land in the ears of those who hear. Let what I say reflect the time I have spent with you. Let people hear more than my voice. Let them hear the echo of yours. Let them feel more than sound. Let them feel the nearness of your presence. So I ask once more, Father, take my voice, take my tone, take every syllable I will speak today. Make it yours. Whether I speak in public or whisper in secret, whether I write, text, teach, or comfort, let it all flow from a place of surrender. I do not just want to be known for what I say. I want to be remembered for how I made people feel when they heard me. And I want that feeling to always trace back to you. Father, after surrendering my words to you, the things I speak, whisper, and hold silently in my heart, I am reminded again that this entire walk with you is a journey, a path that stretches far beyond what I can see. And as I prepare to step into today, I do not want to do it unprotected. I do not want to assume safety. I want to actively place my steps in your hands. Because this world is unpredictable, and even the smallest errand or change in direction can shift everything. So, Father, I ask you now to guard my journey. You know every road I will take today, whether by foot, by car, or through moments that require choices of the heart. You know the people I will pass by, and the ones who will pause long enough to speak. You see the moments of potential joy and the unexpected places of danger, both physical and spiritual. And while I cannot see around the corners, I take comfort in knowing that you already have. You are not just walking with me. You have gone before me, and that gives me peace. Father, I pray over every step I will take. Let my movement be marked by awareness, not fear. Let me be attentive to the whispers of your Spirit, guiding me to pause, to wait, to move, or to turn, even if I think I know the way. Remind me to stay dependent on your direction. Keep me from rushing out of routine. Help me walk with spiritual sensitivity, understanding that not every road is as it seems, and not every opportunity is from you. Teach me to navigate this day with wisdom, with discernment, and with eyes open to what you are doing around me. I ask for physical protection over my comings and goings. Whether I am traveling far or staying close to home, I place every journey under your care. Protect me on the road, in the air, in public places, and behind closed doors. Guard my body from harm, my path from collision, my routine from interference that would lead to trouble. Keep accidents far from me. Disrupt what needs to be delayed to preserve my safety. Surround me with your presence in ways I cannot explain, but will always be grateful for. Father, I also pray for emotional safety on this journey. Some destinations are external, but others are deeply internal. Sometimes, the hardest places to go are within myself. The memories I revisit, the conversations I anticipate, the moments that trigger old fears or expose fragile places in my heart. As I journey through these spaces today, walk with me. Be my covering when old thoughts try to pull me back into places I have already left behind. Be my strength when I am tempted to avoid what needs healing. Be my voice of truth when feelings try to distort what is real. I ask you to protect me from spiritual detours, subtle shifts that seem right in the moment, but lead me away from intimacy with you. Guard me from distractions that feel harmless, but erode my hunger for your presence. Guard me from pride that masquerades as confidence. Guard me from comfort that lulls me into passivity. Let nothing pull me from the narrow path you have marked out for me. If I begin to drift, nudge me gently. If I wander too far, call me back firmly. I want to walk closely with you, not just occasionally, but daily. Father, protect me from people sent to confuse, manipulate, or harm. Shield me from those who wear masks, whose intentions are hidden. Give me clarity when I sense unrest. Help me recognize counterfeit peace. I am not asking you to remove every challenge, but to give me spiritual eyes to see clearly through the fog of flattery or pressure. Let no influence override the voice of your spirit in my life. Surround me with people who reflect your truth, who challenge me in love, and who keep me anchored in what matters most. I also pray over the spaces I will enter today: workplaces, rooms, phone calls, texts, even digital spaces. Let every atmosphere shift when I arrive, not because of who I am, but because of who is in me. Let darkness lose its grip. Let anxiety be disrupted. Let peace follow me like a shadow. I do not want to blend in with worry, fear, or complaint. I want to carry something different into every environment. Let my presence make space for yours. Father, I ask you to watch over my home. Guard it while I am there and while I am away. Let it be a place of rest, of covering, of light. Let no spirit of confusion or division linger there. Place angels at the doors and windows, not as superstition, but as a divine hedge. Let my home be a sanctuary, even in the busiest seasons. Let those who enter feel the weight of your peace, even if they do not know how to name it. I also lift up those I love who are traveling their own paths today, whether near or far. I ask for your protection to go before them too. Watch over their movement, their choices, their interactions. Keep them safe, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Let the people they meet today be kind. Let the news they hear be hopeful. Let their hearts be guarded from discouragement. And if they are walking through hard terrain, walk especially close. Sometimes the journey feels uphill, long, uncertain. Sometimes I am tempted to stop moving altogether, but even then, I trust that every step is seen, every breath is heard, every choice, even the hard ones, can be redeemed when you are at the center. Help me keep walking when I feel weary. Help me rest when I need strength. Help me trust when I see no signpost pointing the way. Let my life be a long, faithful walk with you, not perfect, not always fast, but steady, surrendered, and marked by trust. So, Father, As I begin this day's journey, I take nothing for granted. I do not assume ease, but I expect your nearness. I do not assume perfection, but I expect purpose. I do not walk in fear, but I walk with caution, covered by grace, led by truth. Hold my hand, direct my feet, guard my heart, and let every step I take be a reflection of the one I follow. Father, as I continue this walk with you, still feeling the echoes of the journey we have been on since the morning began, I find myself longing for something deeper than protection or provision. I long for peace, not a fleeting stillness or a temporary silence, but the unshakable calm that comes only from knowing you are here, that you are enough, that whatever swirls around me cannot unseat what you have established within me. Father, let this be the day that peace roots itself in me, unbothered by what might come, unwavering through every high and low. It is strange how a soul can feel both anchored and restless in the same breath. Sometimes I wake up with a storm already brewing in my chest, not because anything has gone wrong yet, but because my mind is racing ahead, trying to brace for what might happen. That tension between what is and what could be tries to rob me of stillness. But here, now, in your presence, I choose differently. I choose to sink deep into the peace that does not depend on my circumstances, the peace that does not flinch when change arrives, the peace that is not earned, but freely given by you, my constant Father. Let that peace fill me now, not just as a concept I understand, but as a reality I live. Let it find its way into my breath, slowing the frantic pace of worry. Let it find its way into my thoughts, quieting the voices that demand I control everything. Let it settle into my body, relaxing the muscles that unknowingly brace for the unknown. Let your peace take up residence where fear once lingered. Let it flood the empty spaces, so that there is no room left for dread or doubt. Father, I know that peace is not always the absence of problems, but the presence of perspective. So I ask you to shift my view today. Help me not to magnify the chaos. Help me not to fixate on the headlines or statistics or worst-case scenarios. Teach me to look at my day through the lens of trust. Remind me that nothing I face is beyond your reach. No storm is louder than your voice. No question is heavier than your wisdom. Let this be the day I stop rehearsing disaster and start remembering your faithfulness instead. Even when the day does not go smoothly, even when interruptions arise. People disappoint. Plans unravel, let peace remain. Not because everything works out, but because I have placed my peace in something deeper than outcomes. I have placed it in you. Remind me, Father, that peace is not passive. It is not pretending nothing's wrong. It is a decision, over and over again, to return to your heart when mind starts to wander, to breathe deep when anxiety rises, to speak gently when frustration flares, to stay soft when life feels harsh. Help me bring that same peace into the lives of others. Let me not be a carrier of stress or pressure. Let me not add weight to someone already breaking. Instead, let me be a safe place. Let my words be slower, kinder. Let my presence calm, not crowd. Let me listen without needing to fix. Let me offer comfort without preaching. There are people around me today who are carrying invisible storms. Let me be a quiet harbor for them, not drawing attention to myself, but quietly reflecting you, the God of all peace. Father, I bring to you the specific places in my life where peace feels hardest to hold, the relationships that carry tension, the responsibilities that feel heavier than my strength, the deadlines that loom, the emotions I have buried, the prayers I have whispered but never spoken aloud. You already know them all. And yet, something shifts when I say them to you. When I hand them over not because I am giving up, but because I am giving you room to do what only you can. I lift up the places where silence scares me, where I have confused stillness with stagnation, where I feel the need to fill every moment with noise, activity, or distraction. Teach me to befriend quiet. Let me sit with you without needing to say much. Let my spirit rest without needing explanation. You are not rushed, so help me slow down too. Let peace come in the pauses. Let it rise in the waiting. Let it meet me in the margins I used to avoid. Father, I also bring you the wounds that make peace feel distant, the betrayals I have not fully healed from, the regrets I carry like stones, the questions I have asked that remain unanswered. Sometimes it feels like peace and pain can coexist, but I believe you are big enough to hold both. You do not ask me to ignore my hurts. You ask me to bring them to you, where they're no longer mine alone to carry. So here I am, not trying to fix everything, just trying to let you in. I think about how many people around me are longing for this same peace. Strangers in passing, friends who hide their struggles, family members who seem strong but are quietly unraveling. Let your peace reach them too. Even if I can speak the right words or solve their problems. Let my prayers plant something unseen, a seed of hope, a whisper of calm, a reminder that they are not alone. Because peace multiplies when it is shared, and I want to live in a way that leaves peace wherever I go. Let my mornings begin with this sacred settling. Let my afternoons carry the echo of this calm. Let my nights close in softness, not fear. Teach me to make peace my pattern, not my exception. Let it be the rhythm of my heartbeat, the breath beneath my words, the thread through every task. I do not want to visit peace, I want to abide in it. I do not want it only when life is easy, I want it even when everything is breaking. Let it be my companion, my anchor, my inheritance as your beloved. So, Father, even as this day unfolds and brings with it 100 moving parts, help me stay grounded. Help me not to rush past this moment. Help me not to let circumstances write my inner story. Let peace be the pen. Let trust be the ink. Let your presence be the page. I walk into this day with you beside me, and that is enough. Father, as I carry the peace you planted deep in me, I realize how fragile it can be when life brushes up against it in sudden, unkind ways. That is why today, I ask you to help me guard my heart not with walls of defense or silence, but with grace. Let this protection not come from fear of being hurt again, but from the quiet strength of knowing who I am in you. I do not want to move through the day numb or closed off. I want to remain open, but wise, soft, but anchored, unshaken, but still tender. Let grace become my shield, my filter, my lens. Father, the more I walk through this world, the more I see how easily wounds can be passed from one person to another. Someone speaks from their pain, and I absorb it. Someone acts from their fear, and I mirror it. It happens quietly, almost invisibly, unless I am aware. But today, I want to interrupt that cycle. I do not want to pass along what hurts. I want to stop it with grace. When someone throws anger at me, let grace absorb it, not reflect it. When someone shuts down, let grace keep me patient. When I am misunderstood, let grace give me perspective. Let me carry myself in a way that softens what is harsh and uplifts what is broken. There is a difference between reacting and responding. And Father, I ask for the wisdom to choose response over reaction today, to pause before I speak, to breathe before I judge, to ask you what love looks like in each moment before I assume I already know. When tension rises, remind me I do not have to match it. When criticism stings, remind me I am not defined by it. When shame tries to sneak in, remind me of the grace that already covers me. Let this kind of grace not only protect me, but also change the atmosphere wherever I go. Sometimes the hardest part of guarding my heart is not what comes from others, but what grows quietly within me. The little thoughts I let linger too long, the bitterness that feels justified, the resentment that whispers it is just being honest. But you know, Father, that those things never stay small. They root and tangle and choke out joy if I do not name them. Uproot them and give you room to heal what they tried to occupy. So here I am, opening every corner of my heart again, even the ones I would rather ignore. Search me. Clear me. Fill me. I want nothing in me to contradict your grace. Let me also recognize the grace I have already been given, not just the grand gestures of mercy, but the quiet ways you have protected me from myself. The words you stopped me from saying, the roads you did not let me take, the moments you redirected my anger into surrender. Grace is not always loud, it is often the invisible hand that keeps me from falling deeper into the places I was never meant to stay. Thank you for those quiet interventions. Thank you for not holding my past against me. Thank you for still choosing me even on the days I forget how to choose you. Father, I lift up my relationships today. Each one is delicate, sacred in its own way, and some are harder to hold than others. Help me not to carry assumptions into them. Help me not to turn disappointments into walls. Help me not to seek control as a way to feel secure. Let grace guide my conversations. Let grace interrupt my defensiveness. Let grace remind me that the people around me are also growing, also learning, also carrying things I may never fully understand. And when they fall short, let grace keep me steady. Let grace shape how I speak to myself. Too, I can be so harsh. Father, I replay my mistakes. I rehearse every wrong move. I measure myself by impossible standards. And while I would never talk to someone else the way I sometimes talk to me, I still let those voices echo unchecked. Today, I ask you to silence them with truth. Let me speak to myself with the same kindness I offer others. Let me forgive myself without conditions. Let me move forward without dragging guilt behind me like a shadow I think I deserve. Grace is not weakness. It is the strength to walk through fire and still speak with gentleness. It is the courage to stay open when rejection whispers, I should close off. It is the decision to believe the best when suspicion feels safer. Help me walk in that strength today. Let grace be my reflex, not my exception. Let it be the tone in my voice, the intention behind my actions, the quiet resolve that holds me together when everything around me feels like it is pulling me apart. Father, I know I will encounter things today that I cannot control. Unexpected words, heavy news, delayed answers, messy situations. Remind me that I do not need control when I am walking in grace. I do not need every detail to make sense. I do not need everyone to understand me. I do not need to win every argument or prove every point. I just need to stay rooted in you and let grace be the evidence that you are near, that you are working, that you are enough. Let my presence be gentle but firm. Let me be the one who diffuses tension rather than escalates it. Let grace allow me to say no when needed without guilt, and yes when called, even if it stretches me. Let it give me discernment to know when to speak and when to stay quiet, when to engage and when to release, when to pursue peace and when to protect it by stepping back. Grace does not mean always saying yes. It means saying what is right with love. Even now, as I move from this still place into the rhythm of the day, help me not to forget what it feels like to sit with you like this. Let the calm linger, let the clarity last, let the grace you have poured into me spill into everything I do today, not in flashy ways, but in small, steady ones. In the way I make space for someone to speak, in the way I choose not to snap, in the way I forgive without being asked, in the way I pray quietly for someone who would never know I am thinking of them. These are the quiet miracles of grace, and I want to live them fully. So, Father, as I walk forward, not knowing what this day may require of me, I lean into your grace like a gentle armor. Not heavy, not rigid, but strong in the softest ways. Strong enough to guard me without closing me. Strong enough to hold what I cannot. Strong enough to let me love, even when it is risky. I walk into this day with a guarded heart, not guarded by fear, but covered in grace. Father, even now, as the light outside begins to stretch softly across the horizon, I find myself clinging to the stillness you have given me like a lifeline. The grace you wrapped around my heart in the quiet moments before this morning has not left me, and I do not want to rush ahead without sitting a little longer in that sacred calm. For it is in this stillness, this gentle pause before the rush of the day begins, that I feel most connected to you, not just in words, but in breath, in being, in the silent agreement that I am not alone and I never have been. Father, I know the day will ask many things of me. Tasks will pile up. Expectations will weigh down. People will need answers, decisions, support, presence. But before I face all that, I ask for something deeper than solutions. I ask for stillness that anchors me, not only in this moment, but in every moment that threatens to pull me away from myself and from you. Help me not to rush past the sacred in my hurry to be productive. Help me not to overlook peace in my race for efficiency. Help me not to treat this quiet as a luxury, but as a necessity. Stillness is not absence. It is not emptiness. It is not idleness. It is a presence that fills every corner of my soul with assurance. A presence that reminds me that I do not need to perform to be loved, that I do not need to have all the answers to be guided, that I do not need to be perfect to be used. In this stillness, you do more than prepare me for the storm. You remind me that even if the storm comes, I am not without anchor. And even if I am shaken, I will not be swept away, because you are the solid ground beneath every uncertain wave. Father, there are times I forget that not every battle must be fought with noise and force. Sometimes, victory comes in choosing not to be pulled into chaos. Sometimes, peace is found not in solving everything, but in surrendering it to you. Sometimes, strength is quiet and hidden and slow, and that is the strength I ask for today. Let it rise within me gently. Let it shape my responses, direct my steps, soften my pace. Let it steady my voice when emotion swells, and give me clarity when confusion clouds my sight. Teach me how to move from this stillness without abandoning it. Teach me how to carry this quiet, not just in prayer, but into conversation, into work, into conflict, into the noise of the world. Let this stillness be the soil where patience grows. Let it be the space where compassion is born. Let it be the shelter where I return when the day overwhelms. For no matter how far I walk, if I carry stillness in my soul, I will always be home in you. Father, I confess that I often seek stillness only when I am desperate. I come to you when the weight becomes too much, when the burden presses down, when the questions become louder than the answers. But today, I choose to come before the crisis. I choose to sit here not because I am broken, but because I long to stay whole, not because I am lost, because I want to remain found, not because I fear the storm, but because I know the strength of preparing my heart before it begins. In this stillness, I remember who I am not by the titles I carry or the roles I fill, but by the truth that I am yours. No task can add to that. No failure can subtract from it. No praise can elevate it. No criticism can diminish it. This identity is rooted deeper than any human voice, and I ask you to remind me of it often today. When I begin to strive, whisper rest. When I begin to doubt, whisper beloved. When I begin to panic, whisper peace. And when I forget, draw me back to this place without shame, only grace. Let this stillness change how I approach others. When I speak, let it be from a calm heart. When I listen, let it be with full attention. When I lead, let it be with humility. When I serve, let it be with sincerity. Let me be a calming presence to those around me, not because I have everything figured out, but because I have been with you. Let my stillness be a gift I offer to others who are tired. overwhelmed, anxious, or searching, not in words alone, but in how I carry myself, how I hold space, how I walk through tension without absorbing it. Father, help me be still even in motion, even when my hands are busy. Let my heart remain quiet, even when decisions must be made. Let them come from a place of rest. Even when challenges arise, let my response be measured, rooted, unhurried. Let me trust that I do not need to grasp for control when I am held by you, that I do not need to know the outcome when I know the one who holds it, that I do not need to be the answer when I can simply carry your presence into every question. I offer this day to you again, not just the schedule, but the spirit with which I enter it. Let me not measure its value by how much I accomplish, but by how present I remain. Let me not chase perfection, but pursue faithfulness. Let me not fill the hours with noise, but with meaning. Even if I do nothing impressive today in the world's eyes, let me remain aligned with you, and in that, let me find peace that outlasts praise and purpose that outshines recognition. As I breathe in this stillness once more, let it seep into every cell of my being. Let it calm the tension in my shoulders, the worry in my chest, the clutter in my mind. Let it renew me from the inside out, not just for today, but for every day I rise again. Let this be my rhythm: waking, breathing, listening, moving slowly toward grace. Let the stillness I find here remind me that no matter what the world demands, I begin from rest. I begin with you. I begin in peace. And when the winds rise and the noise returns and the pressure builds, let this stillness speak louder than all of it. Let it remind me where I have been and who walks with me still. Let it guide me back here again and again, not just in crisis, but in rhythm, in love, in devotion, in quiet strength that no storm can undo. Father, as I enter this new moment with you, I carry the calm you have graciously given me in the stillness. And yet, even as that quiet wraps around my spirit like a familiar robe, I can feel the shifting winds of change beginning to stir beyond the edges of my comfort. Life rarely stays still for long. Just as the morning light slowly chases away the shadows, I sense that today may carry new directions, altered plans, and unexpected turns. So I come, not only to dwell in your peace, but to ask for steadiness when that peace is tested by change. Father, you know how easily I become unsettled when things shift suddenly. When the day does not unfold the way I envisioned, when interruptions rewrite my schedule, when uncertainty sneaks in and sits where predictability once rested. But if I have learned anything in your presence, it is that stability is not found in unchanging circumstances, is found in an unchanging you. You are the same through all seasons, through every transition, through every rise and fall of emotion or expectation. So I choose now to anchor myself in your constancy, not in the comfort of routine. Give me eyes to see change not as chaos, but as a sacred invitation. Let me not resist it out of fear, but step into it with trust. Remind me that change is not always a threat to my peace, can be the very pathway you use to draw me deeper into your purpose. Whether change comes gently like a breeze or violently like a storm, Let my first instinct be to reach for you, to hold fast to your hand instead of clinging to control, to embrace surrender over anxiety, to remember that even if I do not know where the road is leading, I am walking with the one who does. Father, steady my heart when the familiar is taken away, when the routines that gave me comfort are no longer reliable, when the relationships I leaned on shift or stretch, when the identity I once knew begins to evolve. Help me to see that change does not erase who I am, it refines who I am becoming. It is not meant to dismantle me, but to deepen my roots in you. Let me not mistake discomfort for danger, or stretching for breaking. You are not removing my foundation. You are revealing the strength beneath it. Let me be flexible in the right ways, and firm in the right ways too. Teach me when to adapt and when to stand my ground, when to pivot with grace, and when to wait with courage. Not all change requires movement. Some change simply asks for patience, and some change demands boldness. Give me discernment to know which season I am in today. Let me respond not from panic, but from presence, from listening, from the deep inner knowledge that you are guiding even the things I did not plan. Father, help me hold plans loosely, but your promises tightly. Let me not confuse my map with your mission. If you reroute me, let me move with humility. If you delay me, let me wait without resentment. If you accelerate something I thought would take years, let me run without fear of not being ready. Whatever shift today brings, let me walk through it not dragging my feet in dread, but lifting my head in confidence, not because I am confident in myself, but because I trust your wisdom. And in moments when I feel overwhelmed by the unknown, remind me of all the times you have already carried me through transitions I thought would undo me. I remember the seasons I feared I would not survive, yet here I stand. I remember the changes that felt like endings, but you turned them into beginnings. I remember the painful letting go that made room for deeper joy. Let those memories of your faithfulness become stepping stones beneath my feet today, so that each step forward, no matter how uncertain, is planted in gratitude and trust. Let my response to change become a witness to others of your stability. Let my steadiness point to something greater than self-discipline. Let it reveal a rootedness in your presence. When others around me tremble, let me be a quiet strength, not with cold detachment, but with warm assurance that comes from walking closely with you. Let the way I handle transition be soaked in grace and gentleness, as if each movement was choreographed not by chaos, but by a composer I trust deeply. Father, let change teach me to pray differently too. Let it strip away the formulas and make space for honest, present conversation with you. Let it remind me that I do not need rehearsed words. When the ground feels like it is moving, I need real words. I need the raw cries, the whispered hopes, the quiet questions. I need to bring you the truth of how I feel, not just the faith I want to feel. Let my prayers grow deeper as life grows more complex. Let them be less about controlling outcomes and more about growing communion. Today, I ask not for a day without change, but for a heart that remains anchored when it comes. Let change shape me, but never shake me loose from you. Let it teach me, but never undo me. Let it bend me, but never break my faith. I surrender every expectation I have for how this day should go, and I open my hands to receive it as you allow it to unfold. Whatever comes, let me be fully present for it. Let me trust that nothing arrives outside your awareness, and nothing departs without your permission. And even if the day changes me, let it change me in the direction of grace. Let it leave me softer, not harder, more hopeful, not cynical, more open, not guarded. Let it move me toward becoming more like you, patient, loving, wise, faithful. For every change in life, I believe there is a purpose, and I choose to trust that purpose. Even when I cannot yet see the full picture, my peace is not in predictability. My joy is not in stability. My identity is not in sameness. My soul finds home only in you. So I move forward into this day with my heart steady and my eyes open. I carry the stillness you gave me, and I walk forward into change not with dread, but with a quiet courage born of nearness to you. Wherever this path leads, I walk it with you, and that is enough. That is more than enough. Father, in the stillness that follows the steady steps of change, I feel another layer stirring underneath a quiet H, a tenderness I rarely name. After walking with courage through uncertainty, something softer within me longs to be noticed. I realize, Father, that while I have learned to move through the day with grace, there are wounds inside me that have not yet healed. Some of them I have buried for so long that I almost forgot they were there, until the silence of morning brings them back into light. And so I come to you, not just for direction or strength, but for healing the kind that reaches where words cannot go. I bring you the pain that has no voice, the sorrows I never told anyone about, the parts of me I have carefully hidden behind smiles and distractions. I bring you the echoes of old disappointments, of losses I did not fully grieve, of hopes I packed away because it hurt too much to keep them close. These are the things I carry quietly, but they weigh down my spirit all the same. Today, I lay them at your feet. Father, you never ask me to pretend. You do not require me to be whole before I come to you. You meet me in my need, not after it passes. So I do not need to be strong in this moment. I only need to be honest. And the truth is, I am hurting in places I do not always understand. Sometimes I feel fine on the outside, but fractured on the inside. Sometimes I can lead others to peace while losing pieces of myself. Sometimes I function so well that no one suspects. I am exhausted from carrying what I never talk about. But you see, you know every cracked place in me, every wound I have tried to walk on without tending. And you do not turn away from my brokenness. You draw near to it. You are the healer of hidden things, the mender of what others do not notice. So I open those places to you now, even the ones I have convinced myself are too old to matter. Even the pain I thought I should have gotten over by now. Even the sadness I minimized to keep going. I give you full access, not just to my joy, but to my sorrow. Heal me not just so I can feel better, but so I can live fuller. So I can stop bracing myself against more pain and start embracing life again. So I can stop holding back out of fear of reopening old wounds. So I can risk joy, love, trust, and hope again without carrying the weight of everything that ever went wrong. Help me release the grip of resentment where I have been wronged. Help me untangle shame from my past decisions. Help me forgive myself where I have been too hard. And help me forgive others. Not because they deserve it, but because I no longer want to carry the poison of bitterness inside my chest. Father, healing is not always instant. Sometimes it comes in layers, like the rising of the sun, slow, gentle, gradual. So teach me to be patient with the process, to not rush the repair of my soul, to trust that you are doing more than I can see, even when I do not feel anything changing yet. Let the daily act of coming to you be a balm, a sacred rhythm where healing flows even through the smallest prayers. Let this morning be one more step toward wholeness, even if I can't measure the progress. Help me to be tender with myself, the way you are with me, to speak kindly in my own mind, to stop replaying memories that hurt me, to not hold myself hostage to past versions of who I was, to believe that I am not defined by what broke me, but by the love that is restoring me. Let your voice be louder than the old accusations, clearer than the whispers of regret. Let your grace rewrite the narrative that pain tried to make permanent. I want to be new, not just on the surface, but in the places only you can touch, and in the healing you bring. Let me carry compassion for others who are quietly hurting, too. Let my wounds, once mended, become bridges. Let my pain, once transformed, become a source of wisdom. Let me never forget what it feels like to be unseen, so I can be someone who sees. Let me never forget what it feels like to be unheard, so I can be someone who listens. Let my healing not end with me, but flow through me. Let it reach someone else who needs the hope I once waited for. Father, I know that healing does not mean I forget what happened, but it means I stopped letting it define me. It means I stopped living from the fear of being wounded again. It means I stopped bleeding into places that were never meant to hold my pain. Help me to live from healing, not from hurt. From fullness, not from fracture. From restoration, not from reaction. And help me remember that even when I feel wounded, I am never abandoned. I am always held, always known, always safe with you. And when I feel discouraged that healing takes time, remind me that you never grow weary of walking with me through the long process, that you do not rush me or shame me or push me faster than I am ready to go. You walk beside me, gently, faithfully, without disappointment. You celebrate each small step, each quiet moment of bravery. You are the kind of healer who loves me through the entire journey, not just the ending. So I breathe deeply this morning, not to escape the pain, but to give it space to be met by grace. I do not deny that I hurt, but I declare that I am healing. I am not stuck. I am not broken beyond repair. I am in process, and you are patient. I may not feel whole yet, but I am not hopeless. I may not have the answers, but I know the one who holds the remedy. And that is enough for today. I walk forward into this day with my wounds acknowledged, but not in control. I carry the H, but I carry it differently now, with hope, not fear. With you, not alone. With openness, not shame. Let this day be gentle. Let it bring glimmers of healing in unexpected places, a kind word, a deep breath, a quiet laugh, a tender moment. Let me be attentive enough to notice them. Let me gather them like petals, reminders that beauty and brokenness can coexist, that even as I heal, I am already loved completely, that I am not waiting to be worthy of your care. I already am. Father, as the quiet healing of yesterday's wounds continues to stir softly beneath the surface, I find myself longing for something deeper still, not just comfort or strength or restoration, but meaning. The ache inside me begins to shift into a question that reaches beyond the pain itself. What now, and for what purpose? If the broken pieces are being mended, if the silent burdens are slowly being lifted, then surely it is not only to make me feel lighter, but to make my life count for something more. And so, Father, I bring you this hunger today, a desire not merely to exist, but to live with purpose. Not grand, flashy purpose that the world parades and applauds, but holy purpose. Sacred purpose. Quiet intention that weaves through ordinary moments, like golden thread through worn fabric. I want to know that my steps mean something, that this breath I just took is part of something larger than myself, that every time I choose love over fear, kindness over resentment, hope over despair, I am participating in something eternal, something heaven-born. Father, if there is purpose in my pain, let me not miss it. If there is a lesson in the detours, let my heart stay awake enough to learn it. If the waiting, the wilderness, the wondering are shaping something in me that cannot be formed any other way, then let me walk through it without bitterness. Show me how to partner with what you are doing in my life, even when I do not yet understand where it is all leading. Let purpose rise from the ashes of my confusion. Let meaning bloom where only emptiness once lived. I do not ask for a detailed map. I do not need to see the whole path. But give me enough light for the next faithful step. Give me enough peace to silence the anxious noise. Give me enough trust to move forward, even with unanswered questions. I know now that the point is not to arrive quickly, but to walk closely with you. Not to conquer the path, but to be transformed by it. Not to always know what I am doing, but to remain willing and surrendered in your hands. Remind me that purpose is not always loud. It often whispers in small decisions. It is present when I listen without interrupting, when I make someone feel safe, when I speak with honesty, when I choose patience instead of control, when I forgive without an apology, when I return a kind word for a harsh one. These moments may pass unnoticed by the world, but they are seen by you. And if they are seen by you, they are never wasted. Let me not overlook the sacredness of the simple. Father, there are times I have searched for significance in the wrong places. I have chased validation instead of vision. I have compared my path with someone else's and ended up feeling lost on my own. I have measured purpose by productivity, And when I did not feel useful, I believed I was not enough. Forgive me for the ways I have tried to prove my worth instead of receiving the truth that I already have it. Let my identity be rooted in your calling, not in my performance. Let my value be grounded in your love, not in the opinions of others. If purpose means serving quietly, then I will serve. If it means waiting humbly, then I will wait. If it means walking through the unnoticed corners of life, then let me walk with joy. Let me embrace the small roles that ripple into eternity. Let me believe that nothing surrendered to you is ever wasted. That even in the mundane, you are shaping something eternal. That obedience itself is purpose, and faithfulness is success in your kingdom. And Father, when I feel like my efforts go unseen, when the seeds I plant show no sign of growth, when the love I offer feels unreciprocated, remind me that I am not working for applause. I am planting in the soil of eternity. I may never see the harvest, but I trust that you are the Lord of the outcome. Let me not grow weary in doing good. Let me not give up because results are invisible. Let me hold to the promise that, in due time, all that was sown in faith will bloom in beauty. Let every moment today be infused with divine purpose, even if it looks ordinary to human eyes. Let my morning rituals become altars. Let my work be worship. Let my conversations be vessels of grace. Let my silence hold peace instead of pressure. Let my every act, every choice, every thought be aligned with the quiet rhythm of your heart. Teach me to see every step as a chance to reflect you, not just in what I do, but in how I am while doing it. Use me, Father, not because I am strong, but because I am willing. Not because I know everything, but because I am listening. Not because I have something to prove, but because I have something to give. Let my life be a light in the places others overlook. Let my journey be a testament to what you can do with a surrendered soul. If there is someone today who needs hope, let me carry it to them. If there is someone today who needs peace, let me be a vessel. If there is someone today who feels unseen, let me see them. Father, you do not need me, yet you choose to work through me. You are not limited by my capacity, yet you invite me into the mystery of co-laboring. What an honor it is to be part of what you are doing in the world. Let that wonder never grow dull in me. Let the sacredness of that truth anchor me when I am tempted to believe I am aimless. Let it stir me when I grow indifferent. Let it ground me when I lose sight of where I am going. Even if this season feels hidden, even if my days feel repetitive, remind me that you are not wasting a single one. You are building depth in the unseen. You are preparing me for things I cannot yet imagine. You are laying foundations that will hold the weight of blessings to come. Let me walk through this day not with a restless heart, but with a ready one, not searching for signs, but trusting in your shaping hand. Let purpose be not just what I pursue, but who I become in you. And as this day unfolds, help me to remember that sometimes living with purpose is simply staying faithful in the place I am. It is keeping my heart open. It is showing up with love. It is being present, even when it feels quiet. It is trusting that what I offer today matters in ways I may never see. And that is enough, because you are enough, and in you, so am I. Father, you have given me breath this morning once again, and as I inhale the stillness and exhale the weight of yesterday, I become aware of how precious and powerful every word spoken in this life truly is. Flowing from the heart, shaped by the tongue, every phrase holds the potential to either build or break, to bless or to burden. And so, Father, continuing from the quiet resolve I felt growing in the still places of my soul, I now ask that you guide my words today. Not only what I speak aloud to others, but also what I whisper to myself in silence. If I am to live with purpose as I prayed before, then let my words carry that same intention. Let my sentences become seeds of peace, not sparks of conflict. Let my speech be seasoned with grace, not laced with bitterness. Let my tone reflect compassion, even in correction. Let my voice echo hope, even when addressing hurt. You see, Father, I have come to realize that the way I speak is often the clearest window into the posture of my heart, and I want that window to reflect the light of your presence. Too often, I have spoken hastily, allowing frustration to spill over before patience could take root. I have uttered words without weighing them, forgetting that they do not disappear when they leave my lips, but linger in hearts. Shaping thoughts, memories, and wounds. Teach me to pause before I speak. Teach me to choose wisdom over impulse. Teach me that silence, when bathed in love, can often speak louder than 1,000 careless words. I do not wish to be loud. I long to be kind. I do not wish to be clever. I long to be clear and gentle and honest. Father, even in private, even when no one hears but you, help me guard my words, because what I speak over myself matters. The inner dialogue that plays through my thoughts, especially in quiet moments, often shapes how I walk through the day. Let my self-talk not be critical, but courageous. Let it not replay fears, but reinforce faith. Let it not dwell in shame, but rise in grace. Let me speak to myself the way you would truthfully, but tenderly, firmly, but lovingly, calling me forward without condemning my missteps. And when I speak to others, especially those closest to me, the ones who have access to my vulnerable places, let me not take their presence for granted. Let my words become shelter, not storms. Let the people in my life feel safer after being with me, not smaller. Let them feel seen and heard, not judged or dismissed. Let me not raise my voice to win arguments, but raise my heart to understand their pain. Let me be more interested in connection than correction, more invested in healing than being right. Father, when I must speak hard truths, let them be wrapped in empathy. Let honesty flow with humility. Let my timing be guided by wisdom, and my intention be checked by love. Let me never use truth as a weapon, but as a bridge toward freedom. And if someone speaks to me in ways that hurt or offend, let me not react in kind. Give me the grace to listen past their words to the wounds underneath. Give me the courage to break cycles of harshness with gentle responses. Give me the strength to absorb tension and return peace. Let my words today be like living water to thirsty souls. Let them nourish where dryness has taken root. Let them bring clarity where confusion has fogged the path. Let them affirm, uplift, and encourage those who are weary and uncertain. Whether through a smile, a message, a conversation, or a prayer, let me be aware of every opportunity to speak life into someone who may be silently sinking. I may never know the weight someone else is carrying, but I can always choose to speak in a way that lightens their load. Help me remember that what I say about others when they are not present also shapes my spirit. Let gossip die in my silence. Let slander find no welcome in my vocabulary. Let jealousy dissolve in the light of your truth. Let me be one who defends the absent, who refuses to build my confidence by tearing down another. Let me speak well of others behind their backs, so that integrity becomes my instinct. Let my conversations when no one is watching be evidence of a heart that truly walks with you. Even in laughter, let my words be kind. Let my humor never come at the cost of someone else's dignity. Let joy never mask cruelty. Let sarcasm not be my shield. Let wit never replace warmth. Show me that I can be lighthearted without being sharp, that I can be joyful without being careless, that I can entertain without harming the heart of another. Help me choose words that invite others in, not ones that push them away. Father, I know that my voice has more power than I often realize, so let me use it wisely, whether I am speaking to a crowd or to one soul in passing. Let my words carry your fragrance. Let them be marked by sincerity, purity, and peace. Let them have the weight of truth and the lightness of grace. Let them reflect the love I claim to believe in. Let them leave people better than they were before hearing them. When I am tempted to remain silent out of fear, give me boldness. When I am tempted to speak out of pride, give me restraint. When I want to retaliate, give me gentleness. When I want to prove a point, give me wisdom to weigh whether it is worth it. Let me speak less often, but with more meaning. Let my voice be calm, but certain. Let it tremble only with compassion. Let it break only for injustice. Let it rise only for love. And if today offers moments when I cannot find the right words, let my presence still speak for me. Let my posture, my attentiveness, my expression be a language of love. Let the atmosphere I carry say more than my sentences ever could. Let my stillness echo peace. Let my listening validate pain. Let my empathy become a form of speech in every way possible. Father, use me to communicate your heart. So I enter this day with this prayer sealed in my breath, that my words would be not my own, but shaped by your Spirit, that my language would not be merely human, but heavenly, that every syllable I choose would build something eternal, something true, something good, that when the day ends, and I reflect on all I said and did not say, I will find peace in knowing I chose life again and again. Let today be filled with the sound of gentle words, of thoughtful pauses, of healing conversations, of courageous truths told kindly, of grace spoken into broken places, and of love expressed not just in actions, but also in every uttered phrase. Let my voice today echo heaven. Let it be a mirror of you. Father, In the quiet unfolding of this morning, I return to you once more, still carrying the resolve to speak life and reflect your love in my words, yet realizing how often the path I walk requires not only compassion but endurance, the kind of endurance that holds steady in uncertainty, the kind that whispers hope when everything else around me seems loud with fear or disappointment. As I move from the awareness of my words to the strength in my steps, I ask now for the will to keep walking forward in faith, especially when the way feels unclear. You know, Father, how many days I have felt like giving up, not always dramatically, but subtly, the kind of giving up that creeps into my spirit like a slow fog, stealing clarity, draining joy, making even the simplest tasks feel heavier than they should. Sometimes it is not a storm that threatens to drown me, but the quiet erosion of purpose through fatigue, repetition, and the silence of unanswered prayers. And in those moments, I do not need a miracle that shakes the earth. I just need strength enough to rise, to take the next step, to believe again, even if only a little. So today, I come not asking for the finish line to appear, but for the grace to keep walking the road you have placed before me. Help me to embrace the unseen progress, to understand that growth often happens in hidden places, beneath the surface, where roots dig deep before fruit ever shows. Let me not despise slow days or small victories. Let me not measure my value by speed or success, but by obedience, resilience, and the depth of my surrender to you. When I feel behind, remind me that I am not in competition with anyone else, that my journey has its own appointed pace, that your timing is perfect, even when I do not understand it. Let comparison lose its grip on me. Let the pressure to prove myself to others melt away in the light of your acceptance. Let me walk this day not for approval, not for applause, not to outrun failure, but simply to remain faithful to what you have entrusted to me. And Father, when I stumble, and I will let me not confuse falling with failure. Teach me to rise gently, without shame. Teach me to see every stumble as an invitation to lean on you more deeply. Let me not pretend to be strong when I am not. Let me instead reach for your strength, which is made perfect in my weakness. I do not need to be unshakable, only held. I do not need to have all the answers, only to trust the one who does. There are days, Lord, when I long for rest, not only for my body, but for my soul, the kind of rest that refreshes the weary places inside. Let this day offer glimpses of that rest through silence, through beauty, through peace that does not demand perfection. Let me find it not only in stillness, but even in motion, knowing that rest is not always the absence of effort, but the presence of trust. Let me walk today in the rhythm of grace, not hustle. Let my pace be set by peace, not pressure. Help me to endure with joy, not just with grit, to find meaning in the mundane, to keep showing up even when no one sees. Let me be faithful in the small things, trusting that you are weaving a bigger picture out of my obedience. Let me not grow weary of doing good. Let me not become numb to wonder. Let me not lose heart simply because I cannot yet see the harvest. Remind me that in every season, whether sowing, waiting, or reaping, you are present and working. When discouragement knocks, let truth answer the door. Let me be quick to remember how far you have brought me, not just how far I feel I still have to go. Let my memory be filled with your past faithfulness, so that my future fears shrink in comparison. Let me speak back to every doubt with the evidence of your goodness. Let me anchor my hope in what is unchanging. Let me not forget that even now, in the weariness, I am growing stronger. Father, I ask not for the removal of every challenge, but for the courage to meet them with grace. Let me be unshaken by opposition, not because I am hard, but because I am rooted in your truth, rooted in identity, rooted in hope. Let me bend but not break. Let me be flexible in methods, but unyielding in faith. Let me persevere not out of pride, but because I know who walks beside me. When others are weary too, let me be a gentle companion. Let me notice those who are struggling in silence. Let me offer kindness, not judgment. Let my endurance not isolate me, but inspire others. Let me be someone who helps others hold on, not by giving answers, but by staying present. Let me carry not only my own burden, but help lift theirs, even if only through a smile, a word, or a simple act of care. And if the path ahead is long, let me stop for beauty. Let me pause for gratitude. Let me mark milestones not by what I have achieved, but by who I have become. Let me walk with open hands, not clenched fists. Let me surrender every detour, delay, or disappointment into your capable hands. Let my endurance be joyful because it is surrendered, not forced. Let me trust that even the slow steps count. Even the trembling ones matter. Even the unseen progress is real. Today, I say yes to the road you have given me, not because it is easy, but because you are on it. Because even in hardship, your presence transforms the path. Because even in confusion, your light gives direction. Because even when I do not feel strong, you remain my strength. So I rise not with certainty about the day, but with confidence in you. I rise with quiet resolve. I rise with my heart set on walking in faith, not fear. Let this day be marked not by how much I do, but by how faithfully I walk through it. Let endurance not be my burden, but my offering. Let my resilience not come from stubbornness, but from surrender. Let my will to keep going be fueled not by pressure, but by presence, your presence, walking with me every step, whispering, "Keep going, I am with you." And if all I do today is take one honest, humble step forward, then let that step be enough. Father, as I come to you again in the stillness of this early hour, my heart carries the gentle weight of the previous chapter, the desire to simply take one more step, however small, however humble. But now, as that step stretches into decisions, into crossroads both obvious and hidden, I ask for something deeper. I ask for clarity. I ask for discernment. I ask for the kind of wisdom that does not come from logic alone, but from the quiet guidance of your spirit within me. Sometimes, Father, it is not that I am unwilling to move, it is that I do not know which way to go. Life does not always present me with choices that are clearly right or wrong. So often, I stand between good and better, or between fear and faith, or even between two unknowns, and I hesitate, not because I lack desire, but because I long to walk in alignment with you. And I know how easy it is to choose what feels comfortable instead of what is right. I know how easily my emotions can blur the truth, how easily urgency can cloud wisdom, how often I confuse my will for yours when I am anxious or impatient. So today, I bring my questions to you, not with panic, but with openness. I do not ask for a loud voice or flashing signs. I ask for a stillness within me, a peace that rises not from certainty, but from connection with you. Let me hear your whispers in the quiet. Let me recognize the gentle tug of conviction. Let me not dismiss the subtle redirections you often give when I am paying close enough attention to feel them. Let me trust that your silence is not absence, but a call to listen deeper. Teach me to filter every opportunity through the lens of your truth. Not every open door is mine to walk through. Not every invitation is aligned with my purpose. Not every appealing path leads to life. Help me to pause long enough to ask not just, can I, but should I? Not only is it good, but is it from you? Let me weigh choices not by ease or reward, but by whether they bear the fruit of the Spirit, whether they bring me closer to you or subtly pull me away. Let me not make choices based on fear of missing out, but from the fullness of knowing I already have everything I need in you. Give me discernment in relationships. Let me recognize who is for me and who is not. Let me see clearly the intentions behind words, the integrity behind actions. Let me be wise enough to guard my heart, yet soft enough to love with courage. Help me to set boundaries that honor you and honor my soul. Let me not confuse kindness with compliance, or grace with the absence of truth. Let me be firm in values, but gentle in delivery. Let me choose people who water my growth, not those who feed my insecurities. And Father, grant me clarity in my purpose when I feel scattered across too many tasks or uncertain about what truly matters. Call me back to the center. Remind me that purpose is not always found in grand achievements, but often in small acts done with great love. Let me not chase after titles, applause, or affirmation from the world. Let me instead seek the quiet satisfaction of obedience, the joy of doing what you have asked, even when no one is watching. Let my ambition be purified until it becomes service. Let my dreams be surrendered until they become vessels of your will. When choices must be made quickly, let peace be my compass. When I must wait, let patience be my shelter. When the way is unclear, let trust be my vision. When the path is lonely, let your voice be my companion. Let me not be led by the loudest voices, but by the truest one, yours. And when I am tempted to rush ahead of you, slow me down. When I linger and delay out of fear, urge me forward. Let me match your pace, not just your direction. Let me be willing to take the harder road if it means walking with you more closely. Help me discern not just what is urgent, but what is eternal. Let me not trade the sacred for the shallow. Let me not invest time in what drains me, but in what builds your kingdom within and around me. Show me what to release, even when it looks valuable. If it no longer aligns with where you are leading me, give me the courage to let go of the good to receive the best. Give me wisdom to know when to speak and when to be silent, when to act and when to wait, when to press forward and when to simply rest. And Father, let discernment become not just a tool I use occasionally, but a habit, a posture, a way of living. Let it grow in me through daily connection with you. Through scripture, through silence, and through community, through trial and even error. Let me become someone who does not need to rely on signs, because I have learned to recognize your heartbeat. Let me not chase constant confirmation, but cultivate quiet confidence in your guidance. Let me be teachable, humble, and always willing to pivot when you show me a better way. Let my clarity bring light to others. Let me become a mirror that reflects truth with kindness, conviction with compassion. Let me be a source of wisdom in conversations, not because I am clever, but because I have spent time with you. Let my words carry weight not from volume, but from substance. Let my presence create space for others to think clearly, to feel safe, to discern for themselves what you are saying in their own hearts. If today brings choices I do not yet see, prepare me. If it brings conflict between what I want and what you want, soften me. If it brings confusion, be my still point. If it brings clarity, let me walk boldly in it, unshaken by doubt, anchored in faith. Let me not second guess when you have already confirmed. Let me not hesitate when you have opened the way. Let me not delay obedience for the sake of comfort or approval. So as I face this new day, I ask not for everything to be easy or obvious, but for my spirit to remain tuned to you. That in every question, I would pause long enough to hear you. That in every decision, I would look not just outward, but inward, where you dwell. That in every step, I would choose not just what is permissible, but what is purposeful. And that even if I make mistakes, I would be quick to learn, quick to return, and quick to realign. Because walking with clarity is not about never being wrong, it is about always being willing to be made right by you. Father, in the quiet continuation of all I have laid before you, I bring to this morning the heaviest part of my heart. I have asked for clarity. I have sought discernment. I have asked you to guide my choices and correct my steps. But now, as I pause in the stillness, I recognize something deeper, still something buried beneath the decisions and directions. I recognize the need to forgive, to truly forgive, to release, and not just others, but myself too. And in that release, to find the courage to begin again. Father, I know you are not only the God of direction, but also the God of restoration. And restoration often begins where bitterness ends. So this morning, I come with the names that rise in my heart like whispers. Some I have tried to forget, some I have refused to speak of, and some I have kept hidden under layers of justification. People who hurt me, people who disappointed me, people who never gave closure, people who took without returning, who promised without keeping, who broke what I was barely holding together. And yet you, Father, ask me to forgive not because they asked for it, not because they changed, not because they deserve it, but because you first forgave me. Because forgiveness is not agreement. It is not erasure. It is not pretending something never happened. Forgiveness is the choice to surrender my right to revenge, to give you the burden of justice, and to choose peace instead of poison, to free my heart so it can breathe again, to stop dragging the chains of offense into every new morning you give me. So I name them quietly before you, not in bitterness, but in surrender, not to condemn them, but to let go. I release the weight I have carried, the conversations I have replayed 1,000 times, the silent accusations, the imaginary confrontations, the H of unanswered questions. I place them in your hands, not mine, because I cannot carry them and walk freely at the same time. I cannot hold grudges and grasp grace. I cannot rehearse wrongs and step into restoration. And Father, help me to forgive myself too, for the times I should have known better but did not, for the ways I allowed others to define my worth, for the moments I gave too much, trusted too easily, stayed too long, or walked away too quickly, for the times I carried shame when I should have carried truth, for the mistakes I keep reliving long after you already forgave me. Help me stop punishing myself for what you have already redeemed. Let me step out from under the shadow of regret and stand in the light of grace. Let me forgive not just the obvious offenses, but the subtle wounds too, the friendships that faded without explanation, the expectations that crushed my spirit, the leaders who failed me, the opportunities I lost because someone made a choice that I could not control. Let me forgive even those who will never know they hurt me, not because they apologized, but because I refuse to let pain have the final say. Because healing matters more than proving a point. Because peace matters more than pride. And Lord, I know that forgiveness is not always a one-time event. Sometimes, it is a decision I have to make again and again, day by day. Sometimes, the memory returns, and so must the release. Let me not grow weary in the process. Let me not mistake recurring pain for failed healing. Teach me that forgiving is not forgetting, it is remembering without reliving. It is choosing not to pick up the wound again. It is trusting that you see, you know, and you are faithful to work all things, even the hurtful things, into something redemptive. And in this space of forgiveness, let something new begin. Let me not simply end chapters of pain, but open pages of possibility. Let me wake up not only with lighter burdens, but with a greater capacity to love, to risk, to connect, to trust again, not blindly, but bravely. Let the pain I have released become the soil for deeper compassion. Let what broke me become what builds me. Let the scars no longer define my worth, but become testimonies of your healing touch. Father, give me wisdom in how I move forward. Forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation. Sometimes it means blessing others from a distance. Sometimes it means setting boundaries that protect peace. Sometimes it means letting go completely and refusing to return to what once held me. Let me not confuse grace with enabling. Let me be kind without being naive. Let me be discerning without being hard-hearted. Let me carry the tenderness of forgiveness with the strength of wisdom. And as I live out this forgiveness, let my life preach louder than my lips. Let my responses be marked by restraint. Let my silence speak peace. Let my choices reflect healing. Let my posture be gentle, not guarded. Let me move through conflict with integrity, through betrayal with maturity, and through offense with freedom. Let those who encounter me find not bitterness, but quiet courage. Not retribution, but surprising mercy. And Lord, for those who have forgiven me, for those I wounded knowingly or unknowingly, I thank you. Thank you for grace that came through others when I least deserved it. Thank you for people who saw past my flaws and chose to love anyway. Help me honor that grace by living humbly, by not repeating the cycles of harm, by learning, growing, and becoming someone who no longer wounds out of wounds, but heals out of healing. Let my forgiveness ripple into my home, my work, my relationships. Transform how I lead, how I serve, how I speak. Let it change how I interpret others' actions. Let me assume the best until proven otherwise. Let me give space for growth. Let me hold space for pain. Let me become a safe place, a refuge, a bridge, because I know what it is like to need one. Father, let the act of forgiving teach me something about you. Let me feel what it cost you to forgive me. Let me understand the depths of mercy. Let me taste the freedom of unearned grace. Let me stand in awe of a love so vast, so patient, so persistent that it never runs out on me. A love that keeps no record of wrongs. A love that bore my guilt and released me before I even knew I needed release. So this morning, as I breathe in the light of a new day, let it be a breath of freedom. Let it be the sound of chains falling. Let it be the soft step of a soul unburdened. Let it be the quiet beginning of a heart brave enough to let go, strong enough to heal, and free enough to begin again. Father, as the journey of this morning prayer finds its quiet unfolding, I return once more to the beginning, to you, not as a final word, but as a gentle breath that carries me forward. I do not come to close anything, but to open more deeply, to step, not away, but further into the trust that has held me through every word, every pause, every silent H and whispered hope that these prayers have carried. I stand here not with everything figured out, but with everything laid down. And that, perhaps, is what surrender truly means. Father, I release the need to have answers. I surrender the pressure to know what comes next. I let go of the weight of fixing, controlling, and performing. I release the fear that I must earn my way to peace. I let go of the illusion that strength means never being weak. Instead, I allow myself to simply be held, to be known, to be seen, to be loved exactly here, exactly as I am. Not because I deserve it, because you never stopped offering it. I surrender the timelines I have created, the goals I thought I had to reach by now, the milestones I measured myself against, the disappointments I have tried to bury. I release the comparison that steals my joy, the shame that whispers I am behind, the doubt that clouds my sense of purpose. I release it all into your hands, the only place it was ever meant to rest. You are not rushed. You are not surprised. You are not impatient with my process. So let me walk with you in rhythm, not in panic. Let me move with you in peace. Not performance. I surrender the people I love, not to lose them, but to entrust them. I place their futures in your wisdom. I place their wounds in your healing. I place their paths in your design. Where I cannot reach, you already are. Where I cannot speak, you still whisper. Where I cannot hold, you embrace. Help me love them freely, without grasping. Help me release control without releasing care. Let me bless without burdening. Let me trust you with their stories, just as I have learned to trust you with mine. I surrender the past not to forget it, but to stop letting it define me. The pain, the shame, the moments I would rewrite if I could, I release them into grace, grace that does not excuse, but transforms, grace that turns broken things into holy ground. Let the chapters I once hid become testimonies of light. Let the memories I have feared become places of redemption. Let nothing be wasted, not even my failures, especially not my failures. I surrender the future not to abandon hope, but to make space for it. To stop scripting what you are still writing. To stop fearing what you have already gone before me to prepare. I open my hands to the unknown, not with dread but with wonder. I no longer need to see the whole path if I can see your presence beside me. You are not just the destination. You are the journey. And because you are here, I can walk on with courage, with expectancy, with joy. I surrender the small things to the rushed thoughts, the daily stresses, the unspoken worries that cling like fog to the corners of my mind. I surrender the irritation, the fatigue, the mundane repetition that tempts me to believe this day is ordinary. It is not. It is full of divine possibility. It is soaked in unseen grace. It is overflowing with your fingerprints. If only I pause long enough to see. Help me embrace the sacred in the simple. Help me greet this day not as a burden to survive, but as a gift to live. And in this surrender, Father, I find a strange and beautiful strength. Not the kind that resists, but the kind that yields. The kind that knows power is made perfect in weakness. The kind that leans instead of stands tall. The kind that believes falling is not failure when it falls into your arms. This strength does not roar. It rests. It does not strive. It trusts. It does not demand. It receives. I ask not for a life without storms, but for an anchor that holds in every one. I ask not for certainty, but for unshakable faith. I ask not for ease, but for presence. Yours, constant, steady, gentle like a sunrise and deep like the ocean. Let your voice quiet the noise in my soul. Let your touch mend what the world has worn thin. Let your love be the rhythm I move to when everything else falls silent. And now, as this prayer gently comes to stillness, I do not walk away from it, I walk deeper into it. I carry it with me. Like a melody tucked into the folds of my spirit, a song that rises softly in traffic, in waiting rooms, in quiet rooms where tears fall unseen. A prayer that speaks not only in words, but in how I live, how I listen, how I love. It is not finished, because you are never finished with me. Your mercies are new every morning. Your grace is present in every breath. Your light rises again, even after the longest night. So here I stand, at the edge of morning, not with finality, but with quiet readiness. I will step into this day, not as someone who has figured it all out, but as someone who knows who holds it. I will step into it not alone, but accompanied by the one who walks beside me, goes before me, and lives within me. I will rise again and again, not because I am strong, but because you are faithful. Thank you, dear listener, for walking this sacred path with me, for allowing your heart to open, your spirit to soften, and your soul to breathe with each chapter. This journey has not been a collection of words, but a weaving of trust, hope, and healing. Your presence here matters. Your prayer matters. You matter. And though this prayer reaches its final breath, your own conversation with God continues. Always, if this journey has moved something within you, I invite you to share your heart below your thoughts, your prayer, your moment of grace, and if this has given you strength, peace, or direction, share this video with someone who may need to know they are not alone. Subscribe to this channel to continue nurturing your faith every morning. And together, let us grow in truth, in love, and in the quiet strength of surrender. Now, let the day begin softly, as light spills over the hills, as a breeze lifts the leaves into gentle motion, as a quiet stream winds through the silence each moment, whispering that hope is already here.